but it was very popular over the years. Interesting talk between Barry Bonds and the Fox MLB set. Derek Jeter asked him a question. Hey, could you hit a bomb off Satchel Paige? And he was like, oh, yeah. And he was very clear about that. So I want to talk about some matchups that may be fun. What about also school realignment? It's about to start July the 1st. Less than 2 weeks away. Oklahoma, Texas entering the league. I think Texas is going to be fine. I know you hate to hear that. It's just how I feel. I think Oklahoma's in trouble this football season. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I have Oklahoma friends and family that may be listening to this program. Not trying to just get a rise out of them. I really feel that way about the Oklahoma football program. Not necessarily over the course of their history. Chuck's made a great point the last few times I've talked about it, about the record that the Sooners have against the SEC. A few Hall of Fame coaches in there. Bob Stoops, Barry Switzer. Venables ain't no Hall of Fame coach. Kareem Reid joins us. Newly, soon to be inducted, I guess officially, on September the 13th. Arkansas Hall of Honor. Excited to have him on. Talk some MLB with Jonathan Papelbon, former Red Sox and Phillies pitcher. Hall of Fame guy in the Red Sox organization. 2007 World Series champion. And then talk some SEC scheduling with Rocco Miller as well this morning. So we have plenty to discuss. And if you want to call or text us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, do so at 877-377-6963. Again, our number, 877-377-6963. So let's start with basketball. Josh Whitman, the Illinois athletics director, Kansas City. Give credit. Tommy Kraft called it. 100%. Said KC, St. Louis, Chicago area, and I think he was kind of honed in on KC at the kind of tail end of the conversation. So he was right. Now, he's not with us today, unfortunately. So I guess he can gloat on Monday about it. He's got a big golf tournament this weekend. Good luck to him and brother Teddy as they embark on a championship trophy. I don't even know if they have a chance to actually win a trophy, but we're going to say they do. That's going to actually tie into our Fence Man Friday prop bets. Usually we do mainly just actually, college and professional sports. We'll tie in some Kraft brother golf tournament stuff this morning because I think we could have some fun with that, with some prop bets and whatnot. But you've got Thanksgiving occupied by the NFL, right? Bears and Lions, big game that day. Lions always play on Thanksgiving. Cowboys, that's just kind of the setup. But kind of scrunched in, or pushed in, I guess. The Arkansas Razorbacks and the Illinois Fighting Illini in the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Sounds like it's going to be on CBS around 3 o'clock that day, looks like. This is going to be a different Illinois team that they had last year. Coleman Hawkins is a Kansas State Wildcat. Terrence Shannon's going to the NBA. A lot of other guys transferred out. They got a bunch of guys that transferred in. Brad Underwood had a good squad this past year. I think they made it all the way to the Elite Eight. Lost to UConn, if I remember that right. They had a good team. 2 years ago, you beat them in Des Moines, Iowa in the NCAA tournament. But this is awesome. Think about your schedule, right? You go Illinois that Thursday. Next week, if it's right, it's that Tuesday against Miami. Then the following Tuesday, I don't think it's been the Jimmy V Classic in Madison Square Garden is 100% official yet, but it's that Tuesday expected, reportedly, against Michigan. So you go Thursday, Tuesday, Illinois, Miami, Michigan, Kansas City, Miami, New York. That's awesome. And that's the start of your season, right? You'll still have these great SEC matchups to look forward to. I know Oakland's on the schedule. Sounds like Dallas could still be in play. You're going to play in Little Rock. It still sounds like, according to Cal. So that's incredible to have that good of. And we're talking about, it's June the 21st. We're talking college basketball. Now, I do have some football stuff I want to get into this morning. Not necessarily, we've got the in-state Arkansas stuff that I want to get into, but also the college football realignment. Who is going to benefit and who's going to get left behind? Because I have some pretty strong feelings about that. When I was just I kind of re-look, because it's hard, right? You're used to saying a program's been with this conference for years now. In some cases, decades. And now you have to completely switch your thinking. It's no longer about proximity to certain schools. I mean, Cal's in the ACC. You've got USC and UCLA in the Big Ten. Like Texas and Oklahoma, that's regional to a certain extent to the Southeastern Conference. Now, it's on the bitter fringe, kind of like Arkansas and Missouri, but it doesn't feel like a reach to include the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. And you might not like it, and I get that, but from a regionality standpoint, it still makes sense. Again, I think Texas is going to, unfortunately, adapt, and I think they've adapted. I think they learned their lesson. You want to be honest? I think they learned their lesson when they came to Fayetteville, Arkansas in September of 2021. I think they're learning their lesson. So you, to a certain extent, might have helped the Longhorns acclimate to the league. You remember how much you pounded them on the line of scrimmage that night? John Ridgway had a field day, as did Trey Williams. I mean, offensive line just mauled them over and over. And they're like, Sark's just like shaking his head on the sidelines. And I didn't know if he was going to last as their head coach at that juncture. Of course, he's turned it around. They've got one of the best quarterbacks, not just in the Southeastern Conference, but in college football. It still feels weird saying that, doesn't it? That the Texas Longhorns have one of the best QBs in the SEC. It's going to take some getting used to. I understand that. But, again, less than 2 weeks, we're going to have to start saying it consistently. It's no longer going to be, they're coming to the league. As of July 1st, they are in the Southeastern Conference. So it is a football Friday. Like I said, we have that to discuss and more. I'm excited. Chuck's going to join us in about 20 minutes from now. But like I said, loaded guest lineup. I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to interview Kareem Reid before. Matt was kind of yesterday. This kid from the Bronx played in the King Cotton Classic, I guess it would have been 93, or it would have been 94, excuse me. He's 94 McDonald's All-American. Comes to Arkansas. Nolan Richardson gets his eyes on him. I mean, this was a kid, and it's kind of the backstory, if I remember right. Allen Iverson gets charged, right? And he's left off the team. Kareem slides right in there as a McDonald's All-American. So we'll ask him about that and a lot more. He joins us again at 7 o'clock. And then it's not often we get to talk to a former Major League pitcher that doesn't have any connection to Arkansas, but we'll ask Jonathan Papelbon a few things or two throughout the morning. If you've got questions for them, again, you can send those on the McLarty Daniel hotline once more at 877-377-6963. Loaded show. Good to have you with us this morning here on a Football Friday. We got a lot to discuss going into the weekend.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Vegas, baby! Vegas, baby!
This is the Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
We're going over to the Johnson's yard. You're gonna love it. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet over there.
Well, what about that yard over there?
Oh, we can't go in that yard. You see that yellow sign? That says Mosquito Joe. What do you think, I was born yesterday?
Actually, yeah, we both were.
Don't be a mosquito buffet this year. Call Mosquito Joe for a free quote at 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com. Outside is fun again.
Superior Siding and Windows have been improving homes in Fort Smith and the River Valley for over 44 years. Whether your need is siding, vinyl windows, doors, gutters, or metal roofing, Superior Siding is the one to call if you want it done right the first time. Call 479-646-7888 for a free estimate. 100% financing is available, and Superior Siding has AAA rating with Better Business Bureau. Superior Siding, your first call, 479-646-7888.
Hey, Wes. Billy, K is for horses. Are my ears that long?
Oh, you got me again. I'm gonna order a large Boss Hog pizza for fishing tomorrow.
That's a lot of food. You taking a friend?
No, sir. I'm gonna use it as bait.
Pizza as bait for fishing?
Yes'm. The catfish love 'em. Some Jim's Razorback pizza.
They do?
Yes'm. They chase the bacon faster than green grass through a goose.
Bacon? Never would have thunk it.
Yup. And they come right to the river's edge when I call them too. Woo! Fish suey!
Oh, blessed Billy. All right, son. Have fun fishing.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can't sleep.
Ricky, go ahead, man. You're on the morning rush.
I think Texas is Bush League all the time.
Now we're talking.
They're Bush League.
Here they are in the Wild Hog formation. Casey Dick. And wide open downfield. Oh, it's got 6 on it. Touchdown. Lucas Miller.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel hotline. 877-377-6963.
So good text from Greg, who's listening in Fort Smith this morning on the McLarty Daniel hotline, asking. And again, Jonathan Papelbon's going to join us coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, asking about the game in Rookwood Field last night in Birmingham. Definitely going to ask him about that. Again, the significance, unfortunately, of Willie Mays passing away this week, and to time up everything about the Barons, and it's the Montgomery. I'm forgetting the team that what they were titled the Negro Leagues. I know it's the Biscuits now, but Juneteenth being yesterday. I mean, there's just a lot of significance that went on over the course of the last few days, and I know that Willie Mays has gotten his just due, being one of the icons in the sport. Listen, I got a chance to listen to Bob Costas and Mike Greenberg yesterday. Costas is so good, man, and Greeny has such an affinity for him. I understand why. I mean, this is a guy, like, I can't imagine watching the NBA when in my prime. When I say in my prime, in like 20s and 30s, actually taking in Costas before Jordan. Now, I watched it as a kid, and I don't know if I appreciated these long intros. As you know, you're impatient as a kid. You're just ready for the game to start. But yeah, I thought that was a great conversation about Mays with Greeny yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, I would encourage you to do so. I would also encourage you to get on Oaklawn Sports, because there's always something going on. We've got MLB right now. Football season just around the corner. You've got variety of things. Baseball, cricket. I mean, you can bet on anything at Oaklawn Sports. And you can sign up today to qualify for your chance to win the first bet of $250. How does it work, Ty? Just create an Oaklawn Sports account, make a deposit, and make a bet of at least $10. You place your first bet of at least 10, and if the bet loses, you receive a bonus bet equal up to $250. You can insert money via debit or credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, and of course, on-site cash at Oaklawn Casino Racing Resort. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. All right, let's talk some Arkansas high school football. Colton, you've kind of really done some great research. I'm not going to be like Cowherd and steal my researcher's credit and claim it as my own. I'm actually going to give our guys credit like Dan Patrick would. So Carius Kern, number 1 player in the state, Marion, Arkansas, who was originally committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks just a few weeks ago, has decommitted and since recommitted yesterday to the LSU Tigers. Number 1 interior offensive lineman in the country. And if you talk to in-state recruiting analysts, they say he's pretty stinking good. I heard Danny West say yesterday that he might even be as good. He's one of the best offensive linemen in-state since Sean Andrews. We know how good Sean Andrews was, y'all. So that is high praise. This is difficult for a number of reasons. 1, he's an in-state kid. He's the best player in your state. 2, it's not just him. There's several. I think 4 of the top 5 players outside of Grayson Wilson, who's the former CAC, now Conway quarterback, are currently committed elsewhere to places outside the state of Arkansas or not committed whatsoever. Omarion Robinson is a guy that you're still kind of wondering about, the Parkview kid. I know that Arkansas just got a commitment from his teammate, and we'll see if some of the other guys, again, they 5 or 6 kids from Parkview currently have several D1 offers. Omarion's probably the highest of the group. But this is not, as you pointed out, Colton, this is not just a Sam Pittman issue. Arkansas has lost some guys out of state before. You picked out the best high school player. I don't know. What'd you use? On 3 rivals?
On 24/7, it goes back to the top player in each state from 2010. And since 2010, Arkansas has not retained the top player in their state in 9 out of the last 16 recruiting classes. Essentially, every other year, the top player from this state is going somewhere else.
So, and that's, again, great research. So the point is, this is not just a Sam Pittman issue. This has been an issue for a while. I remember, again, my first experience, Michael Dyer, former Little Rock Christian running back, a guy that I wanted desperately to go to Arkansas, selected to play with Gus Malzahn in Auburn. Now, he ended up, I think, winning the national championship MVP that season against Oregon, which I thought was pretty crazy. But Michael ended up going to Auburn. Some of the other ones, the late Alty Tenpenny picked Alabama. Josh Frazier picked Alabama. I know KJ Hill, that hurt him going to Ohio State. Some of the ones to think about. Drayden Norwood selected Texas A&M. His cousin Trey went to Oklahoma. Wasn't highly looked at by Arkansas. I don't know how you miss on Trey, who is now an NFL player. Some of the Walker White, close to me, close to my family, grew up going to games with them. He selected Auburn. Again, this is not a Sam Pittman issue, but this is more of an Arkansas issue. And like you mentioned, 9 out of 16, every other year, basically, you've had the top player in your state say, you know what, I don't want to go to Arkansas. What's the key? What's the remedy to all this? It's winning. You've not had a double-digit win season since 2011. You've had 2 good seasons since then. 2015, 8-5, and then Sam Pittman went 9-4 in 2021, and that's it. Okay? These kids, like my experience as an Arkansas Razorback fan is directly tied to wins. It's 2002 when I watched my coworker, friend, and Arkansas legend Matt Jones take us to Atlanta with the Bass, Miracle on Markham. It's watching a Central Arkansas kid, Darren McFadden, who should have won the Heisman Trophy in either 2006, 2007, take us to Atlanta. It's watching a friend and a former host of the show, Tyler Wilson, and doing what he did in 2011, and the late Ryan Mallett doing what he did in 2009 and 2010. That's why I was so drawn. It's not, again, my dad went to Baylor, my uncle went to Baylor, but I think I'm a 4th or 5th generation. It was going to happen regardless. But that's why it's so ingrained, so strong in my DNA. That's why I was going to Arkansas. It wasn't because they just had these stellar academics. It's like, I want to be a part of these wins when I'm in college. Unfortunately, from 2013 to 2017, outside of a little blimp, I guess, in 2015, didn't really have that. And so for these kids, like, you think about where Arkansas is right now with the pecking order. According to, I think, the recent stuff with Arkansas Edge, you've got less than 800 Edge members. Now, I know that's subject to change with what's going on in NIL and everything, but there is less allegiance to in-state schools than there ever has been. I think that's undeniable. There's no way to refute that based on where it may be. Hold on, let me rephrase. With Arkansas, because of the lack of winning and the seemingly funds that are being used, and I don't blame Sam Pittman and staff for doing this, but more with transfer guys. Now, you'll occasionally get an in-state kid that's talented that has always wanted to go here, but it's difficult right now. And as I said kind of at the top of this segment, the only way to rectify this is to win football games. And that's why this is such a key year. Because this upcoming class, y'all, it's really good. Like, you got 16 guys. I think I heard Zach say this yesterday, 3-star or better. That's not typical in Arkansas. You've got a good class. And then, by the way, hey, guess what? Kane Archer, 2026, right down the pipe after that. You got to figure this out. Hopefully they do in 2024.
A lot of those kids go to the same schools, too. Parkview and Greenwood, a bunch of those kids all go to school together. Get them all. Get them all at the same time. Big group deal.
100%, Colton. It's a package deal in that situation. So we mentioned the golf tournament that Tommy's involved in later on this morning. Hoping nothing but the best, as well as his brother Teddy, who's been with APAC Arcola, I think Tommy said like 15, 20 years. Loves working there. It's a great place to work. They've got job openings in the Northwest Arkansas area, Boone and Marion County, and all over the place. So if you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrical, diesel mechanic, or you have paving or a labor experience of any kind, apply today. Jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer. Chuck Barrett joins us next.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
Hey, this is Taylor Green, Arkansas quarterback, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off, or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Neumeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Neumeyer family.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The good old summertime is here, and Jelco Outdoors is ready to help you have a great time. Going fishing? Jelco has one of the largest selections of fishing equipment and gear for your day on the water. Taking a vacation? Jelco has a great selection of casual shirts, shorts, and comfortable shoes to make your vacation one to remember. Fall is not far away, so start getting your bows and guns ready for fall. Jelco Outdoors, your store for all season. Have a great summer from Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
They swapped contact information, and now she is dating him.
Now they're swapping a little more than contact information.
Here's my thought on this.
Please.
If you're her, Dad, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend. And she reads home Bill Belichick. Love still exists, right? Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend. We always knew it did, but I guess now we really know. Chuck Barrett's with us this morning. I guess we can move on from Bill's new relationship and talk some college basketball. Chuck, I got to give Tommy credit. I think he kind of called the Kansas City thing. Sounds like that's where Arkansas is going to be playing on November the 28th. Chuck, you there?
I am here.
So sounds like, sorry, we had some technical stuff. Sounds like Arkansas is going to be playing Thanksgiving in Kansas City in the Sprint Center against the Final.
I think it's going to be great. I enjoyed going into that building a couple of years ago when we were up there. It's downtown there in the I think it's the Electric Light District, the Electric Company
Power
District.
Light. Yeah.
Power Light.
Power
that's
Light.
it. Power Light District. And so it's right down in the middle of that area down there. And it was really nice. I enjoyed it. So I'm glad they're playing there. I think that'll be fun for everybody. This is a CBS game. And, you know, as we've kind of discussed, I mean, CBS's deal with the SEC is done. And so most of these television games that Arkansas is involved in with CBS right now in basketball are not going to be played inside the traditional SEC footprint. So Kansas City's kind of I know technically they're still part of an SEC state, but I don't think anybody thinks of Kansas City as being, you know, SEC country. So I think it's great. And there's going to be a lot of big opponents in non-conference play.
Yeah, we'll give you some more info on that coming up. It is a football Friday. We've got some college football to talk about, conference realignment, what's going on in recruiting as well. So we got all that to get to in this hour with Chuck. Before we start on that, again, I want to tell you about our friends at River City Coatings. They can handle all your powder coating needs. It's not just a layer of paint. It's part of the metal. It can withstand that chemical abrasions and more. So if you need your metals to last, get powder coating from River City Coatings. They have over 25 years of experience. And they have all these different colors they offer. Plus, it's quick, and they can get your project done. So give them a call or check them out online at rivercitycoatings.com. No project too big or too small. Think it might be too expensive? Think it's not possible? Give River City Coatings a call to help you, or online at rivercitycoatings.com. All right. So like you said, game's not in necessarily SEC footprint, but Kansas City Sprint
Who
Center.
cares?
Yeah. College basketball experience, place I've got to take in. It's awesome. They put on a great college basketball set. I've been there for the Big 12 tournament a couple times. But it's kind of sandwiched. Chuck, we talked about how college football is kind of giving up Thanksgiving. You're going to be sandwiched in some NFL stuff. I mean, you've got the Bears and Lions, I guess, right before, and then it's going to be on at around 3 o'clock, it sounds like. And yeah, that's kind of your setup that day. You got the college basketball with a bunch of NFL to watch. Then you'll be in Columbia that Saturday.
Well, last year they played on Thanksgiving too. They were down in the Bahamas then, so at least I think that's where they were. I didn't get to make that trip, so I didn't pay as much attention. But playing on Thanksgiving is becoming more of the norm in college basketball. There's a lot of football on that day. There are a lot of people that prefer college basketball, and they'll be the ones that probably watch the whole game, and others will come and go, and Razorback fans and Illinois fans will probably hang on every play. So I think it'll be good. I'm glad they're doing it.
You think about the setup of the 3 straight weeks. That Thursday, again, you're going to be in Kansas City against the Fighting Illini. Following Tuesday, you'll be in Miami. And then that supposedly the following Tuesday, I don't think that's official just yet, you're going to be in New York. So 3 consecutive marquee non-conference matchups in, I wouldn't say the Miami place is prestigious arena, but Sprint Center's a great place to take in. You were kind of joking yesterday. I was listening to the show a little bit yesterday. It's like, oh, where are we going to next? We're going to L.A. We're going out west. Where's the next item in the agenda? I don't think they're done, Chuck. I mean, I think we're going to hear something about Dallas soon. Maybe a home and home we didn't expect, or maybe we did expect with Kansas. I honestly don't think they're done.
Well, I would imagine there would be at least one more, what we would categorize as maybe a marquee game. I don't know who it would be. I have no idea. But they are going to have a formidable schedule. And, I mean, you look at, again, what it was like at Kentucky when he was there. And a lot of this is about the relationships that schools and programs build with television networks, television executives over the years. And, John Calipari, Inc. has done pretty well in virtually every boardroom they've ever walked into, whether it's him or a representative or whomever. And so I would expect the big-time games to continue. I would expect that, John Calipari has always performed on the biggest stage. And I don't think that's going to change. I mean, we've got evidence already that, hey, it's full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm. And there is a couple connections with the Illinois basketball program, Chuck. You've, of course, got Orlando Antigua, who I guess is taking over as Brad Underwood's associate head coach in Champaign. And then I didn't know – I had heard Big Z talk about his brother before, but I didn't know he played college basketball. But he plays for the Fighting Illini, man.
Yeah, Brad Underwood's a really respected coach, and there are those connections, which – I think will become more readily apparent. They were probably immediately apparent to people who followed him in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But because they've not been here, it's like, oh, I forgot Orlando Antigua was up there, and I forgot Big Z's brother played up there. We're just going to – and over time we will. I mean, we'll become more tuned in to maybe, why some of this stuff is happening. Brad Underwood, frankly, probably saved his job last year. He was on the hot seat, and they had a really good year. But he's always been a respected coach back to when he was at Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be a good game. They've lost to their team. Arkansas lost their teams. They don't have a new coach, but they're going to have a new roster essentially too. So both these guys know how to build basketball teams, and I'm sure it'll be a good game.
You mentioned Stephen F. Austin. So then he goes to Oklahoma State, and then he goes up to Champaign, which I thought at the time was a lateral move, but doesn't seem to be now.
No, respectfully to Oklahoma State, going to Illinois, that's a better job.
Yeah, step up. Bruce Weber took them to the national championship.
And Oklahoma State's a good job, don't get me wrong, but Illinois is a better job.
Yeah, and then he's been up there. And you mentioned they lost to Arkansas a couple years ago in the NCAA tournament, and then Coleman Hawkins really improved. They get Terrence Shannon from, I guess, Texas Tech. They're both gone now. Hawkins is now a Kansas State Wildcat. Shannon's looking at his NBA prospects. And So it is going to be an intriguing part of that game, the fact that the rosters are so retooled. But again, it sounds like, according to Illinois AD Josh Whitman, that is what's going to happen. Haven't seen an official statement. I guess the one last thing on this, Chuck, is will there be another game featured? Because we know that you've got another game in New York when Arkansas is going to be playing Michigan. I think it's Miami and Tennessee, if I remember that right. I wonder if this will be a standalone game or if there will be another game in addition to it.
I have no idea on that one, Ty. I know that you got a lot of holiday tournaments. You got the Bahamas going, you got the Maui Invitational going. You got a lot of basketball during that week. So I don't know. I have no idea. So I guess we'll find out in the coming days.
Well, we've got still basketball to talk about. Cal had some interesting thoughts on kind of what the NBA looks like the next few years. Boston Celtics win the finals this week. Congrats to Jordan Walsh. Will that continue? Do we need a dynasty for the NBA to improve its ratings and just to help themselves out? Something we'll get into a little bit, but Gentle Ben wants to talk some football this morning. He's on the McLarty Daniel Hotline here on a Football Friday. Gentle Ben, you I think, want to talk about the first 5 games of the season. That's right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do. I was thinking about how important they are, and of course, always the first 5 games are important. But to my knowledge and memory, I believe this is the first time that we've ever played our all 4 of our non-conference games, the first 4 games of the season. I just don't remember ever doing that. Am I correct on that, or do y'all
There's
know?
one in November, isn't there, Chuck?
Well, we're playing the first 3.
Yeah.
We're playing the first 3 before conference play starts, and then you're going to have Louisiana Tech in late November. That'll be the last game you play before you go to Missouri. So you've got 3 in a row. I'm sure that's happened, Ben, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head when.
Well, that's okay. That's right. But anyway, it was just thinking about, who they are, and I guess I feel this way every year. Those first few games are so important. Like I'm not taking UAPB lightly at all because they're going to want to kill us, and I'm not taking them lightly at all. And then go to Oklahoma State. How important is that? Boy, if we can win that game, that would, kind of rocket us up, real good. And then, don't we play, who we play our second, third, and fourth game?
Well, you got UAB at home after that, and then you go to Auburn. So, and you're going to have, you're actually going to have 5 games before the end of September again this year. You're going to go to Auburn after UAB, and then you're going to go to Dallas and play A&M. So you'll have almost half your schedule under your belt by the end of September.
Wow.
It's hard to believe,
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. And just like always, I'm saying I just can't wait for this season to start more than ever. Well, I say that every season, but it's just really going to be interesting. And we do play Texas, correct, this year?
Got the Longhorns coming to Fayetteville in November.
16th, yep.
Oh, okay, well, I think all of us were saying, so glad we don't have to play Alabama next year. Boy, how wonderful that is. So all we do is just get the team that beat them in place of Alabama, Texas, So anyway, well, I could talk more, but I know I don't need to take too long, so I just let y'all go. And I'm just so excited about this season and what's going to happen. I just know Bobby's already getting ready for Oklahoma State like he did Georgia, that year that we played them about the 4th game, and he took all season long, just concentrating on Georgia. And I got a feeling if he could, he'd like to do that with Oklahoma State. But anyway, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Gentlemen. That was an epic game in 2009, Chuck. I know that they got the better of the Razorbacks that night, but Mallett was on fire in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I mean that was a great game. I mean, no doubt that was a great game. I mean Arkansas, as Ben was saying, I mean you're going to have some games there early on that you got to get off to a good start. And I mean, you look at the schedule next year. I mean, you look at these conference ball games, and we're not trading up. It's not as good a trade as we make it out to be, getting Texas for Alabama. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough sled again.
This is going to sound weird, but I feel this way. I think you got a better chance of beating Texas and you, for whatever reason, Alabama just because of the intensity and the rivalry. But I think Texas is going to have a better season. And it depends on where Arkansas is that late of the year, but they might overlook them because I think Texas on November the 16th is going to be in contention for going to Atlanta to play Georgia for the SEC championship. Now, again, a lot can happen between now and then, but you're right.
You've come a long way, Ty, from thinking they were unready in the SEC.
Well, that's Oklahoma, and I'm glad you brought them up because I think they're.
I didn't. You did.
Well, you brought up. Yeah, that's fair. But that is Oklahoma, and I still, I guess, a week or so later since we've talked about that, feel very strongly about that because I think again that's some kind of ties into the realignment where I wanted to go from here. But I was just looking at, and it feels weird talking about SMU as an ACC school or Cal as an ACC school or BYU and Utah as Big 12. We've got to get used to saying that, or USC and UCLA as Big 10 schools. But I do think there are some that are going to succeed where they're going and others that are just going to fall flat on their face. And it is going to be
you're probably right.
Yeah. The ones I had down, now they're not moving, but I think Oklahoma State, Chuck, and they've got close to a national championship in 2011, but no Texas, no Oklahoma anymore. Gunny wins about 9 or 10 games a year. They never have the best recruits. They're typically in the late 20s, high 30s recruiting class, but he's a really great coach. I think they benefit greatly by Texas and Oklahoma. They're staying put. That might be the program in football that benefits more than anyone else in the country, just based on what they've done the last decade or so. And the fact that the two best schools, football-wise in their league consistently, are now exiting. I think they might benefit more than anyone else, man.
Well, they're going to have to continue to recruit at the level they have, and that's the thing that I don't know if they'll be able to do. And this goes for the teams that, recruited against Oklahoma, but part of their pitch was you're going to get to play Oklahoma. And when they went into Texas to get players, part of their pitch was you're going to get to come back and play Texas.
That's a good point.
So I don't know. Look, they may be able to pull it off. You may be exactly right. The truth is we'll find out. But I think for a lot of these teams in the leftovers, so to speak, can they continue to recruit at the level that they have? If Oklahoma State can, you may be right. They may benefit from it a lot.
And they still get to go into Waco and play Baylor and TCU and Fort Worth to play Texas. So there's still some Texas schools, but they don't get the bedlam anymore. And it doesn't sound like that's going to be renewing anytime soon. But so they're staying put. A team I had that's getting added, and I'm going to stay within the Big 12 here. Utah's program, Chuck, has had a lot of consistency. You think about Urban Meyer, Brian Johnson, Alex Smith, some of the notable quarterbacks that he's had. I guess Johnson was probably after him. Then you have Kyle Whittingham, what he's done, taking over. I think Utah going to the Big 12, being in a better position. We saw what they've done in the Pac-12. I think they're prime. They've got a really good coach. I think they're a line of scrimmage team, and that's not a line of scrimmage league. I think that Utah is in a great position, kind of like Oklahoma State is with two of the quote-unquote power brokers exiting the league.
Well, maybe, and it's kind of like Oklahoma State. I hear what you're saying, but you're operating on the assumption that all these schools are going to be able to recruit at the same level they were before.
Mm-hmm.
For example, look at a lot of those linemen on Utah's team. I don't know the exact makeup of their team, but I know when we played Brigham Young, there were kids from all up and down that Pacific coast. There were kids from Hawaii. Is your family going to, you guys headed to Stillwater this weekend? You going to Stillwater this weekend to watch?
One way from Hawaii, Chuck?
Yeah. Well, my point is that with the families that you recruit, you recruit the families too. It's kind of like Oklahoma State. You can go into California, Southern California, and get a great offensive lineman because they're going to come back and play USC, because they're going to come back and play UCLA.
That's a good point, yeah.
They're not going to do that now. I brought up Stillwater because when they play on Saturday and the families from Southern California are going to go watch their son play, who plays for Utah. They're going to come to Manhattan, Kansas. I mean, they going to Lubbock for the weekend. So I don't know the answers to that. The answers may be yes. The answer may be they continue to recruit at the same level they always have.
And that's an angle that has
But
to be
I don't know that we can't assume that. That's part of what makes this new ground. Because, look, if there's certainly the prospect that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to consolidate the best players in college football to an even greater degree, kind of like the SEC's done in baseball, kind of like the ACC's done to a lesser degree in baseball. I think there's that possibility. So I just don't know that the schools that are left over in the Big 12 and the ACC, I just don't know that they're going to be able to recruit at a high enough level. They may get into the playoff, but I don't think any of them are going to play for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't see that right now. All right, let me pause just for a second. We're up against a break, and I want to talk about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If it's your first time out like Ty, or if you're an old guy like me and you've done it more than once, Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they're your real estate partner. When you are a first-time buyer, as Ty can tell you, there's a lot of stuff you go through, man. There's stuff you never even thought about. Then it comes time to sell that house, and then you find out that, once again, you need help. And that was my experience with them. And every question that I had along the way, they answered. There was an open line of communication. I knew at every turn that I was dealing with a well-trained, best of the best real estate agent. And that's what you want when you're spending the most money you've ever spent. And that's how it works for most of us. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town. You can check out their wide selection of homes at WeicherGriffin.com.
All right, so for our listeners on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, just keep in mind for a Morning Rush Daily Question, or keep this in your thoughts. Am I less of a man if I buy a sit-on lawnmower versus a push lawnmower? We'll get into that in the 7 o'clock hour, because that kind of ties into buying this new house, is having to buy some of the equipment to take care of that said house. All right, Brian in Ozark, I said a complimentary.
I'd like a picture of that.
I said something complimentary about Texas, so Brian has phoned us in on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Brian, welcome into the program, man.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
What's up?
I think the more I hear you listen, the more you kind of give Texas a little praise there, and that's kind of cool to hear, as much as you don't like them, but still.
Ty's turning heel, man.
What is she?
Ty's turning heel. He's going to the dark side.
I still hate that school, Brian. I just think they're going to be good, unfortunately.
Man, they're going to be good for the next few years, and this is why. It's all about their coaches, and I keep saying that if Arkansas had the same caliber coaches, we'd be saying the same thing about them. For instance, Texas has 5-star quarterbacks already committed up until 26, and they're looking at 27 season. They got backups that are 5 stars.
But they've always had
It's
that,
just-
Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, they've always had that.
Well,
You know that.
No, Texas has not recruited the way that they have this year. Yes, they've always had elite players, not as many as they have now, and it is Sarkisian bringing them. I would love to see Arkansas do well, and I think they will. Here's the problem is the way that Texas is recruiting is not like Oklahoma, and it gives, it's going to be a problem for Arkansas to get to that level.
Well, I think Arkansas, over the years, you've always had the disadvantage from recruiting, Brian. Appreciate your call. I don't know how much more positive Texas I can stomach, but they've still had success. I realize that we broke open the show this morning talking about in-state recruiting. I know Carius Kern, at least for now, is committed to LSU. That hurts. That stings. He's the number one player in your state. But the Razorbacks have had success without a top 10 recruiting class over the course of their history.
The question for Texas and the question for Oklahoma is going to be, how do they adapt along the lines of scrimmage?
Mm-hmm.
That's the story. Does Texas have great skill players? Absolutely. And Brian's right. They got the cupboard stocked. But can they compete on both lines of scrimmage? Can they absorb injuries on the lines of scrimmage, which will come. This is not a league where, that offensive lineman, holds him for a couple of seconds because that quarterback's in the shotgun and he's throwing that thing as soon as he gets it. This is not that type league.
Mm-hmm.
And can you hold up during the course of the season? Certainly Texas has talent, but can they hold up on the lines of scrimmage? If they can, they'll be good. If they can't, they're probably going to lose 2 or 3 times. We'll see.
And I said this earlier. Arkansas honestly gave them a wake-up call back in 2021 with the dominance of Trey Williams and John Ridgeway and that defensive line. And then the other side, they whooped them on that line of scrimmage. So for Sark, who was the head coach then, it was like, we're not ready. Now, I'm under the impression they are based on what I watched and based on what they did in Tuscaloosa. But I also think I have to account for every Saturday. It's not just one game.
Every Saturday.
It's not
That's
just,
exactly right.
And here's the other key on this. Quinn Ewers gets hurt like he did last year, they're in trouble. Because Arch Manning, well, he has the name. He doesn't have the talent of his uncle or his grandpa. All right, we got a lot to talk about coming up in hour number 2 here on a Football Friday. Plenty to discuss. Barry Bonds had some interesting comments about Satchel Paige that I'd like to think would be a fun discussion to get into as well. Before we do any of that, I want to tell you about what's going on at Pradco Fishing. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr., Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rope, Bobby Garland Baby Shad, and the Yum Dinger. One of the many lures that are made right here in Arkansas by Pradco Fishing. They're available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. I know our friend Bruce Stanton is up kind of New York, St. Lawrence River, having some fun, catching some fish. You can too, right here in Arkansas, or your favorite fishing spot, thanks to our friends at Pradco Fishing. Hour 2 is next.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This is the Morning Rush.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, Wes.
Billy, hay is for horses.
I have an idea to bring in more customers.
What you got?
We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig Suey!"
We're going to call the hogs?
Yeah, we call them all in. "Woo! Pig Suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza."
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course, but we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pig Suey!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pig Suey!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Barrels and Brews Bottle Shop at the Hub and Chaffee Crossing has everything you need for your favorite activities. Our knowledgeable staff will be glad to help you with the current specials and our new arrivals of must-have bourbons and whiskeys. Hit the cooler for some of the coldest beer in town or choose from our large selection of amazing wines. Order online or call ahead Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. at the Hub in Chaffee Crossing. Barrels and Brews, voted best of the best in Fort Smith. It will put a smile on your face.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 90s. I think we'll end up with a clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, upper 60 to near 70. Saturday, lots of sunshine, low to mid 90s, and we're back in the mid 90s on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 69 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
The 96 run was basically, I consider my team, because it was me as a redshirt freshman and a kid from Boston named Pat Bradley and a freshman from Kansas City named Derek Hood that led that team. So it was three freshmen that led that team. So it was a magical run. I really wish we could have went further.
There's another turnover. 2-on-1 break. Reid goes for the left-handed layup. Good. He had Allie Thompson down there, but Kareem took it all the way. Cochran wants timeout. Well, again, there's the engine that drives the train, Kareem Reid. Reid driving. Oh, my.
Good morning. This is former Razorback Kareem Reid, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
You know, sometimes in radio you make a mistake. You don't do something properly to end a segment, like teasing a 2024 UA Sports Hall of Honor member as of this week, Kareem Reid, who now joins us via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Kareem, thank you so much for joining us this morning, man. When you heard the news, what was your reaction to getting added to this class?
Man, good morning. I was ecstatic. A lot of people felt that I should have went in there early or whatever, but the wait was worth it. I mean, like I said, kid from New York, Bronx, New York, getting to go into the U of A Hall of Fame, it's an honor.
I mean, you're a McDonald's All-American. I know there's kind of a backstory on that we might get into. Arkansas's all-time leading assist leader, top 5 in the SEC, at over 1,400 points, over 250 steals. Yeah, I would definitely say you're deserving to be a part of this. Now, you mentioned the New York aspect. How exciting is it for you as a guy from the Bronx, to see your former team play in the mecca of all of basketball, Madison Square Garden, this upcoming December?
Oh, that's going to be crazy. You know, it was funny. I was reading something the other day, and I ran into some Michigan fans at the Summer Street Ball League, and they was talking about when NIT, the postseason NIT, when we played against Michigan and Connecticut. You know, I guess that's the last time, and maybe the only time that Arkansas came to New York, if I'm not mistaken. So it was great. You know, it was great. You know, Coach Richardson always said, you know, one of my things when me picking my school was getting a chance to play in New York City in front of my family. You know, never thought that would be possible going all the way to Arkansas, you know, and that was some of the schools, you know, the hometown schools, you know, that was their thing. You know, I know you want to play in front of your home crowd or whatever. So, you know, that's what St. John's and all that provided. But, you know, the first day I spoke to Coach Richardson in the recruiting period, he said he's going to give me a chance to get back to New York City one way or the other, and it happened for me.
That's awesome. Are you going to try and go this year?
Oh, yes, I'll be there. You know, especially now this year, we have, you know, some New York ties with Boogie Flan there, whatever, stuff like that, representing
Heck yeah.
the Bronx, New York. So, of course, we'll be there heavy to watch the game.
You got DJ, I guess, is from the New Jersey area. You mentioned Boogie, Brian Bronx. So, I mean, there's not a lot of New York connections, Kareem, that have gone to Arkansas to play basketball, but it sounds like there's a few more kind of in that area on this roster this year.
Yeah, it's just in the area, like you said. I guess Billy Richmond also. I know he has a lot of Jersey ties and stuff like that. So I mean, it'll be great. And then of course Chucky Martin, one of the associate head coaches. He's from my high school, St. Raymond. So you know, we'll be East Coast down in there this year.
Love that. Now tell me, because if I remember correctly, you played your junior varsity year, and I think that school went away, and you were kind of deciding where you went to school. You mentioned St. Raymond, all-boys school, prestigious. I mean, that's one of the legendary schools in the area. Just kind of take us back to that decision. If I remember right, you guys won a state championship your junior year, and then the following year you made it all the way to the city championship.
Yes, it was. You know, coming back. You know, growing up in New York, the Catholic school was one of the hardest divisions in one of the top divisions in the country. You know, so I went to the school called St. Nicholas de Palatine that produced some greats like Adrian Autry, the coach of Syracuse, Brian Reid, and you know, rest in peace to Malik Silly, guys like that. So you know, trying to follow the tradition, and went to a school and went my freshman year, played junior varsity, was 35-1 and won the championship, and 6 days after that, the school closed. You know, so a kid, you know, 15-year-old kid looking, you know, school just closed, not knowing what to do. Visited 2 public schools for 2-3 days or whatever, but just knew, you know, the lifestyle I was brought up in, I wasn't going to be able to make it in public school. And then the call came from St. Raymond that he didn't want, you know, out of 70 basketball players, he only wanted, you know, Coach DeCe's only wanted one guy, and that was me. So it was,
wow,
that was crazy, you know, a kid that didn't really do anything or, played well on a stacked JV team, getting the call from St. Raymond's, after that, it was crazy them winning the championship. So it was crazy going there my sophomore year, playing a little bit, playing in some big games, losing in the quarterfinal game, and as a sophomore, telling my guys, the next returning class right after the game that we was going to win it the next year. And me keeping my promise, me winning in my junior year, and then also going right back to the championship game my senior year, of course, losing to, Felipe Lopez. It was great. And then fast forward, me signing with Arkansas, and they winning the city championship. I mean, they winning the national championship, and me coming in as a freshman. So it was crazy. My freshman year in high school and my freshman year in college was kind of similar, joining a championship team.
We're talking with Kareem Reid. He's a part of this 2024 UA Sports Hall of Honor class with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Kareem, you mentioned your conversations with Nolan Richardson, getting a chance to play in New York. Is it correct that you guys first met at the King Con Classic in Pine Bluff when your team came down there? Is that timeline right?
It's about right. I guess the introduction, that was the first, time, that him seeing me, again, as funny. My coach tells a story. Gary DeC tells a story. He was in ABCD camp. Shout out to Sonny Figaro in Michigan. And it was lunchtime, and my coach was in there with a bunch of. He was also the camp director. He was in there with a couple of camp directors and stuff like that. And Coach Richardson and a bunch of coaches walked in Subways. And Coach Richardson was there, or whatever. My coach approached Coach and was like, I got a perfect guard for you. Go watch number 159 on court 11. And that was the introduction where Coach must have went over there. And I was one of the last picks as a sophomore. Usually sophomores don't get, invited to that camp, but my coach was the director. So I had a big jersey on, so I had to tie my jersey, put my jersey over my neck and make an X on it. It was crazy because my jersey was too big. So I stood out like I was one of the guys that stood out the whole camp. So Coach told him that. And I didn't know nothing about it. And then I'm playing in the King Cotton, and Ernie Murray, shout out to one of the Pine Bluff Finals. Ernie Murray really seen me, saw me. So after I had a great game, we played against, I forgot who we played against one of the local schools. And Ernie asked me, hey, number 12, who's recruiting you? And I didn't have no idea at the time because my coach usually, give you a list for your junior year to the end of your junior year. So I had no idea who was recruiting me. So fast forward to the next day, we're playing against Fairleigh High School in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So which was Corey Beck's high school and Dwight Stewart and Alma Martin's all them high school. So they were coming down to support their high school to watch us play. So we wound up playing them and I guess beating them. And I guess they went back.
It's like, Coach, we got to get this guy.
We got to get this little guy or whatever. And then the next night we were playing against Trajan Langdon in the finals against Alaska. And when I come out the locker room to get warmed up and going through the warm-ups, and Coach Richardson and staff, Scotty Thurman and Corliss is there. Of course, I had met Scotty the previous year in ABCD because he was my counselor.
Mm-hmm.
So it was crazy. Like it all went hand to hand. And my first introduction was to Coach. He was legendary to me. He looked like a guy that was very competitive, like I was. Great guy. I stayed especially on him, and we didn't really get Arkansas games or whatever. But I used to always, for some reason, my coach was very strategic with it. He used to always put Arkansas in my face, like some kind of way. Hey, you seen the Arkansas game? Or you look up on Arkansas. So I never knew what he was doing, but my coach helped me with that. Picking a style of play
that fit you.
Picking the right. And that was him with a lot of guys. Helping them through the process or whatever, picking the right school, playing wise, coach wise, who you can handle and stuff like that, where sometimes these kids today doesn't do that. So I want a great shout out to Coach DeCesar for making that, helping me make that choice and me becoming a Hog.
Kareem, I got two more things before we let you go. Kareem Reid is our guest. He's a newly inducted, soon to be formally in September of the UA Sports 2024 Hall of Honor class. Take me back to Bud Walton Arena, 1999 Auburn. I've been told it's the loudest that the arena's ever been. What was it like to play in that atmosphere?
It was great, man. Because if you take it back to 1994, 95, I was at the Missouri game, University of Arkansas against Missouri on ESPN. The year I sat out, and I thought that was the loudest game as me being a spectator, not being able to play. And if you remember that, the electricity went out for a little while on ESPN.
Yeah.
And then you said fast forward to Auburn. Of course, Auburn, was one of the top teams in the country. Chris Porter, those guys or whatever. I think maybe they were one or two. It was senior night. We was coming off beating. I don't know how it went. I know we beat Auburn and Kentucky the same week. And it's a picture that me standing on the table in front of, I guess I was the first one, the guy to jump on the table and, take off my shirt and stuff like that. But we couldn't hear nothing. They were running plays and probably was like 10 shot clock violations from them because they didn't know what was going on. The crowd was tremendous. you know, it was rocking, it was jamming, it was like it was shaking for real. When you go in the arena, it was like Bud Walton was brand new, and it felt like it was shaking, like the floor was getting ready to come up. That's how loud it was in there.
That's awesome. Kareem, last question. I think a lot of people always kind of like to catch up with former Razorbacks, not just the glory days, but hey, what are you doing now? Like, what's going on? So you're coaching and mentoring of some sort, correct?
Yes. The last 2 years, I ran and coached my own prep school in Virginia. Coached over I guess since leaving and coming back getting my degree. Coached about 5 or 6 and mentored over maybe 30 college and NBA guys recently or whatever. Worked with some great guys. Worked with Bryson Warren, helping him also, a Little Rock native. Just doing that. Any way I can possibly help, mentoring, you know, young kids, athletes, you know, dealing with situations and getting them ready for college, but also serving the purpose, you know, just trusting the process, you know, getting the kids to, you know, helping them with their development on and off the court. You know, we always talk about building champions, so I'm with that on and off the court.
Well, based on what you said about the mentors in your life, it's pretty cool that you're kind of taking what they did for you and then giving back to some kids nowadays. So that's a cool background on that. Well, Kareem, we really appreciate your time. Again, congratulations on the 2024 UA Sports Hall of Honor class. I know it's going to be exciting to be back in Fayetteville on September the 13th, right before the UAB game. And I know a lot of Razorback fans are happy to see your name being included.
Yes, I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. Can't wait to bring the family there. I'm bringing half of New York with me. And the guys that never get a chance, and people that thought Arkansas was next to Arizona, they get a chance to, you know, feel the Arkansas love.
And we'll see you in, I guess we'll see you in Madison Square Garden this December, my man.
I'll be there. Woo pig.
That is Kareem Reid, former Razorback guard. Chuck, he brought up a couple names. I'd forgotten Billy Richmond also from kind of that New Jersey area. I knew DJ was, and then Boogie Flan. Arkansas's got several Northeastern kids on this roster.
Yeah, Pat Bradley was from up there. You know, hey, if you can play, they'll go find you. And that's the one thing about college sports, and one thing I've really enjoyed over the years as far as being around teams is, you know, where they come from, the mix of people. And Kareem Reid came a long way from home to play basketball for Arkansas. So happy for him. Glad he's doing well.
And cool that his coach obviously had enough confidence in Nolan Richardson to push him to end up at Arkansas. And the Elmer Martin and Corey Beck connection is kind of cool. It's like, man, we better get this kid. This kid just beat our high school. We could play a little bit. So
he had it on a string now.
He could play.
He had it on a string.
So good stuff from Kareem. We'll react to it a little lower. And of course, if you maybe you didn't get the full interview, it'll be in our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Now, Kareem would be maybe called a firework on the court. Speaking of fireworks, USA Fireworks. You can go to hitthatline.com/USA Fireworks for your chance to win a $2,000 fireworks giveaway. Did this last year. It was a huge success. Last time I checked, there was over 5,500 people that have signed up for this giveaway for your chance to win. Again, Chris Brewer and his team are just giving it away to you. You just got a chance to enter. Now, if you're like somewhat a part of city council, maybe you're POA, you're a business owner, and you want to put on a big show this year, big, massive, grand hoopla show, like some displaying like Aladdin back in there or something, to go to usafireworks.org and get wholesale prices. I mean, maybe you need to spend, you've got a budget of $6,000, $7,000. Well, you could go to your local shop and pay for, I don't know, half of what you get at USA Fireworks, but they're going to give you those wholesale prices at usafireworks.org. It's the banging giveaway, the second banging giveaway with USA Fireworks and hitthatline.com. Morning Rush Daily Question when we return.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
That's my hero. I want to be when I grow up.
This is the Morning Rush.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westart Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westart Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westart Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Get up to $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So when you buy a house, there's a variety of things that you have to think about that I haven't necessarily contemplated to this point. One of the things that Jeff, my realtor at Weicker, was telling me about. It's like, are you gonna buy a lawnmower? You gonna have someone mow it? And I was like, I think I want to mow my yard. I'm in my 20s, about to turn 30. I don't think I'm at a point yet where I don't need to do it. The question is, it's a decent sized yard. It's flat though. Sit on or riding lawnmower, or push. And that is our Morning Rush Daily question this morning. I was thinking, Chuck, that I was going to get a push lawnmower because I almost feel like less manly. I know I don't exactly exemplify manly qualities 24/7, but I feel like I almost have to at my age to get a push lawnmower. Is that the wrong way of thinking, the wrong way of looking at this?
How big's the yard?
It's a little less than half an acre.
How much money you got?
Well, if a sponsor wants to throw
No, how much money you got? I mean, that's part of it, too.
Yeah, that plays into it.
Here's my view. Grown men use a riding lawnmower.
Okay.
Teenage boys trying to buy a new pickup truck use a push mower.
I think I'm a grown man, so I think I can get that. I just didn't know if
Now, I say that as a man who has a push mower. So I've not graduated up to that.
Well, I kind of like the idea of pushing. I've not that. I mean, the sit-on lawnmower goes faster, but there's something to be said, Chuck. I mean, Larry freaking Bird used to have a push mower, and in the 80s, like when he's playing for the Celtics, one of the spectacles, Boston Celtics fans would be outside his yard every Saturday to watch him push mow.
Well, I watched Larry Bird play for 15 years, and Ty, you're no Larry Bird. So I don't think that's going to be the answer there. But I think the best investment you can make is probably in a lawn service.
Oh, that probably is right. Ryan in Prairie Grove says, heck no, Ty, you get a riding mower because it means you're turning into a man, kind of like you're saying, the grown man a little bit.
Now, here's the deal, though. If you're going to do it yourself, you've got to be able to edge well. You got to be a master of the weed eater, and you got to be able to edge along the concrete. That's what separates lawns from yards. Is what you do there at the sidewalk and at the concrete, there by the driveway and the walkway up to your fine home. So you're moving up, Ty. You're a star, and people expect things from you. So you don't want to have a ratty-looking yard.
That's a great point. Last thing we need is the city putting a flyer on my garage door or front door saying, "Hey,
that's right.
you need to clean this
your
up."
Yard. Take your trash out.
I think when some eligible bachelorette kind of strolls by your new nice little digs and setup that you got, do you want them to see you riding on that nice lawnmower that you've bought out there, just whipping it around, zero turn and everything, or do you want them to see you out there really straining and struggling on the push mower? It's kind of just it's up to you.
That's a good point. I
Your biggest problem's the neighbors, because you're going to move in, you're going to bring a bunch of outlaw roommates in, and they're all going to be horrified of you guys. So that's the first thing you need to do is make friends with them, and the way you do that's keeping your yard up.
Ben in Lurock says, I have a riding mower because he has an 1.5 acre yard. It just depends on the side of the yard. If it's a smaller yard, it can be overkill if you get a sit-on lawnmower. But I like the, let's see, Greg in Fort Smith says we have nice Cub Cadet push mowers at Atwoods, I guess.
Everybody's talking about their yard now.
Got it going. There's texture flying in. All right, if you've got a thought on our Morning Rush Daily question, should I get a push mower or a sit-on mower, please send those in. That is your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily question. Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. So I still think there is some meat on the bone of the college football discussion that we had a little bit earlier with the realignment and what's going on there. Chuck, I had not thought about the recruiting aspect. For those that missed it in hour one, we talked about maybe some teams that were going to have success, or I thought some teams that might have success moving to certain conferences or staying put. I think Oklahoma State is set to still have a lot of success based on where they currently are in the pecking order of college football, specifically the Big 12. I mentioned Utah, and I had not thought about like they're positioning the Pac-12 from a recruiting standpoint easier for a lot of Hawaii kids or family members, I should say, to fly in, and now they're playing in like the South and the Big 12, and that's maybe a difference. Oklahoma and Texas, though, I think people a lot. You talk to Oklahoma and Texas fans like Brian and Ozark, that feels very strongly that Texas is going to enter the league and have success in football. I feel that way too. I don't feel that way about Oklahoma, though. I still, maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe Brent Venables and that staff and that team will prove me wrong this year, but I see them going like 7-5, man.
Here's the thing that Texas and Oklahoma are going to have to deal with that they've not dealt with before. Now, I don't know how it's going to affect their records. They may handle all this fine, but it's going to be different. And I'll just give you an example. Texas plays Georgia the week after they play Oklahoma. They're not going to Iowa State or someplace like that. They're playing Georgia. All right? The week after that, I want to see how Texas, the week after the Oklahoma game, responds against Georgia. Then the week after that, they go to Vanderbilt. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but you've played Texas and Georgia. Might have lost twice. At the very least, you're going to be physically beaten up. You're going to go to a stadium nobody wants to go to. It's probably going to be 11 o'clock in the morning, might even be raining. I want to see how you handle that. That's a game they should win, will win, but I want to see how they handle it. I want to see how they handle Texas A&M and Kyle Field the week after they played Kentucky. Now, they may beat Kentucky, but Kentucky plays a physical brand of football. Then you look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's first conference games with Tennessee. Josh Heupel homecoming, back to Norman.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go to Auburn. I want to see how they play at Auburn. After they play Tennessee, 2 weeks later they play at Ole Miss. 2 weeks after that they play at Missouri. And then they close with Alabama and LSU back-to-back. Now, my point in all this is how do you hold up? Texas and Oklahoma over the years have fared well against SEC teams, but it's been a one-time deal.
That's a great point.
Alabama and Texas played early in the year before attrition took over. Or you get somebody in a bowl game. And whether we want to argue about who's better or not, the reality is some teams are happier to be there than others. That's the reality of bowl games. But they've not done it yet week after week after week. And I can tell you, as one who's watched virtually every play we play since we joined the Southeastern Conference, it is about attrition up front. And I'll give you an example how it affects the league. Let's say you got a left tackle playing with a high ankle sprain. Well, their defensive end's just whipping his butt all day. He's well enough to play, but not well enough to play well. He's just out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that defensive end gets around that left tackle and boy, he puts his helmet right in the small of that quarterback's back, and he's out for the rest of the game. How do they respond when that happens? Because it's going to. It's going to happen. Now, they may handle it fine, but I want to see them do that. Oklahoma's got a great overall record against the SEC, and that's given them a lot of hope, and it should. Texas played Alabama toe-to-toe last year.
Past 2 years, too.
Past 2 years. Ought to give them hope. But I want to see what they do in November when 4 of their 5 offensive linemen are battling high ankle sprains. Because that's the reality in a line of scrimmage league. This is not glorified 7-on-7. And I want to see how they react to it. Again, I'm not suggesting that anybody's going to have a better record than anybody else this year. I think Arkansas is going to have to scramble to win every game they can this season. But I think it's going to be a whole lot different for Texas and Oklahoma when they got to do this week after week after week.
I think even looking at last year, so Quinn Ewers gets injured for the Longhorns, and they kind of took a step back because they still won games, but they coasted, and you can't do that in the SEC like you're saying. So for whether it's an injury to a quarterback, the certain lines of scrimmage. Now, Texas did lose a lot on the line of scrimmage. Not just guys, skill position players like Xavier Worthy, who's now a Kansas City Chief, but they lost, I think, 2 defensive tackles that went second and third round, maybe first and second round. So they're going to have to reload and replenish there, which they've done. They've done a good job at recruiting, but it's the week in, week out process that is something to intrigue by. Again, that happens July the 1st. They'll be officially conference members in this league. It's going to be weird to say that, but I think, again, Texas is better suited to acclimate to the conference than maybe the Oklahoma Sooners are. Now, Chuck, when we look at kind of outside the SEC, I know Lincoln Riley's caught a lot of heat lately for trying to back out of the LSU game, and then they're out of the Ole Miss game. And I was hoping to see Lane Kiffin go back to Southern California to take on his former team. I think that's a marquee game and a matchup that a lot of non-Ole Miss and USC fans would watch, but it's not going to happen. USC has been a team over the years that has had a lot of success, specifically under Pete Carroll. I know teams Pat Hayden back in the day. They've had some good, but I just don't know how suited. I know they're in Los Angeles, and I know they've got money, but them and UCLA, I just don't know how suited they are to survive that gauntlet that is the Big Ten. It's not 100% to the level of the SEC, but it's the closest in college football that we have conference to conference to what this league is.
You know, I'm not sure what all these geographic differences are going to mean when they start playing the games. You know, because once the game starts, it's a football game, regardless of where you're playing. But there's an undeniable factor when it comes to travel and the way the schedule plays out and all the things that are going to come into that. And in the case of moving to the Big Ten, the increased competition. I mean, it's going to be tougher week in and week out. They're going to be playing in weather they're not used to playing in by the time you get to November in some of these places. So I tend to believe USC and UCLA and Oregon, I tend to believe they're going to find it to be a little bit more of a struggle initially, with the exception maybe of Oregon. I don't think Lincoln Riley's going to last long at USC. It would not surprise me if this was not his last year, because he's coaching at a place now where all the decisions are being made based on financial survival because of the dismantling of the Pac-12. And when everything in that building every day revolves around the fact that we're broke, or the possibility we may be broke moving forward, as an athletic department, it just doesn't seem to me like football's driving the bus there the way it once did. And I'm not sure that's a drivable bus with them moving to the Big Ten. I just think that's such an odd fit that over time, and it may not take long, I think it's going to take a toll on those West Coast programs.
Or like Cal going to the ACC. I mean, there's some driving that and flying.
Well, yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. There's so much more than just what we watch on television. The recruiting of players, the recruiting of families. What's the travel going to be like for families to watch kids play? Are they going to go to places where they feel comfortable going? All of us have certain places we like to go and certain places we go and think I'm not ever going back. And so you've got all those things to deal with. And I'm just not sure that, while I think it's going to be a financial win for a lot of these schools, I think it's going to affect the one-loss record.
If you've got some thoughts on this, jump in here. McLarty Daniel Hotline is wide open for you. 877-377-6963. Have you heard of MD Hair Labs in Northwest Arkansas? DJ Williams, Josh Throne's place. I mean, it is unbelievable what they can do there. Maybe you're feeling a little more tired than usual. You're gaining weight. Not feeling like yourself. If you're a man over 30, it just happens. And sometimes it's due to low testosterone. But they've got you covered at MD Hair Labs and Vitality Center. They've got these flexible options. They've got weekly in-clinic injections, convenient at-home prescriptions, or a super easy TRT pellet program. Only requires a visit every 4 to 6 months. What's the best part? It's located, again, centrally in Northwest Arkansas on Rogers, right by Topgolf. So you don't have to go out of your way. It's easy, and you can fit it into your schedule. Right now, they're offering a consultation, on-site testosterone test for just $49. It's the perfect time to check your levels and see if TRT is right for you. Just go to mdhairlabs.com to schedule your free consultation. That's mdhairlabs.com. Get to feeling your best with MD Hair Labs and Vitality. So, Chuck, to take a break from football just for a second, some college stuff. Donald Sutherland, dead at 88 years old. Now, I know Donald Sutherland from basically two things: the Hunger Games and Animal House. Didn't know he was in MASH, so I kind of did some stuff this morning. Been in JFK, but I saw he passed away yesterday.
Yeah, he was in the movie that inspired the television show with Elliot Gould. The original MASH movie is what inspired the TV show, and he was in that and a lot of other things too. Ordinary People, back when I was a high school kid, I think was a popular movie. And yeah, he's been around a long time, or was around a long time. Very accomplished.
Yep, very accomplished actor in a variety of things. Again, he got to look. His son Kiefer was in 24, which I know that some of you have watched. I never got a chance to watch it, but I know it's a very good show based on some of the feedback I heard. But just thought that was interesting. I know it's Chuck. I know it's a part of it. I just feel like we keep losing people on whether it's a national sports figure, actors, actresses. I know the close to home ones being Ryan and Alex and some of the other guys that we've lost recently. It just seems like it's more prevalent. Maybe it's not, but it just feels that way to me.
Well, we've had things that have hit home, so to speak, and that's I'm not sure statistically, how it stacks up, but I know it. When you have tragedy or when you have loss, in this case, living to be 88, that's not a tragic death, respectfully. Willie Mays living to 93. I mean, those are lives to be celebrated, but nothing's guaranteed, that's for sure.
We're going to get some baseball perspective. Now, Jonathan didn't get a chance necessarily to watch him play it, but Jonathan Papelbon's going to join us. A really significant moment at Rickwood Field, former Barry, and I say former, the current Birmingham Barons location, and the team that he played for, the Negro Leagues back in the day. We'll talk some current baseball. He's got some thoughts on Hagen Smith and some other stuff coming up. That starts the 8 o'clock hour, so if you don't have a chance to listen, make sure you find it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Still a lot to discuss. We got our Hog Update, Fence Man Friday picks coming up. But first, before we do that, I want to tell you about Gaston's White River Resort. It is the place to go when you're fishing. Listen, let me tell you this. It's in Bozeman a couple months ago, and they knew about the White River. The Montanians or Montanian, whatever you say it, they knew about the White River. They knew about the Prestige. They knew about the fish you can catch all the way up in the northwest corner section of the United States. That's because it's awesome. Clint, Jacob, their team, they do a great great job. Give them a call today at 870-431-5202. You can always check them out online at gastons.com. They post great photos, great pictures on Facebook as well. So if you want a great weekend with your significant other, your fishing buddies, whoever, go to Gaston's. Gaston's White River Resort. A first class time. Every time.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
This is the Morning Rush.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during her long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Attention homeowners, storm season is here, and it's time to take action to protect your property. At H&H Tree Service, we've got you covered. Licensed and insured, our expert team specializes in removing dangerous trees and limbs, keeping you and your loved ones safe. Plus, count on us for thorough storm cleanup services. Our service area includes the entire River Valley and parts of Oklahoma. Don't wait until it's too late. Call H&H Tree Service at 479-227-9480. H&H Tree Service, your safety is our priority.
Hot summer soon gives way to fall hunting season. And with the new Arkansas Early Bow Hunt, now is the time to get your new Hoyt Alpha X or the Carbon RX-8 dialed in. Check out the new Lift Compounds from Matthews, the bow that puts aluminum in a new light. Sub 4 pounds and shooting 348 feet per second. Jelco Outdoors, your full-line archery store in the River Valley. Get ready for fall bow hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
We didn't get a chance to play this yesterday, but even in a White Sox loss, Andrew Benintendi still making it happen.
Trying to get this series against the Astros. Benintendi on a line out to right, and it is gone. Andrew Benintendi gets the White Sox on the board here in the fourth. His 5th home run of the season.
I know Chuck, Arkansas's got a lot of guys in the minors right now. I think they're under 10 right now in the majors, but Benintendi still on a starting lineup. He was fun to watch when he was initially on the Red Sox. He's been around a little bit. KC, now up in Chicago. White Sox not having a great season, but he's still having an impact in the majors.
Well, he's fashioned a good career. He's played for some bad teams, and he's a professional baseball player is what he is. And I mean that in a complimentary sense. Not everyone gets to play for the teams that are always in the race. You're not always lucky enough to be offered a contract by a team that knows it's going to be competing in October. You can still be a good professional baseball player and play for teams that don't win a lot of games. And that's kind of been his plight. You know, if you want to use that term as a major league player, he's been very, very good individually, and he's played for some teams that collectively just weren't very good.
Yeah, so hopefully he finds his way onto a better team, and as he continues on his career,
He's made a lot of money. I know that.
And the 2015 Golden Spikes Award winner. Hopefully Hagen Smith will be in that same camp. We'll have Jonathan Papelbon on coming up in about 15 minutes to get his perspective on Hagen and some other MLB stuff as well. Chuck, it sounds like, according to the Illinois Athletics Director, we've got a finalized game between Arkansas and Illinois location-wise. It will be, again, Thanksgiving Day, we talked about, around 3 o'clock on CBS in the Sprint Center. This is cool because if you want to try and make a trip out of hanging out in Missouri for a little bit, you can go to KC for a few days and then go to Columbia for the Arkansas-Missouri game. But this is a marquee matchup, and it's in a venue. But I know we think KC for baseball, but there's some talented players in the KC area for basketball too that definitely Cal's probably going to keep an eye on.
Oh, I'm sure every place they go, they'll probably have a read on what's there in terms of players and guys they'd like to go after. This is one of those games, though, where this is a television game. This is a made-for-television game. I doubt, you're going to go have a recruiting visit on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe, but I doubt it. You might text him, and I'm sure you do, but I don't know how much hands-on stuff you're doing Thanksgiving Day. Maybe a lot. I just don't know. But it's a game everybody watches. If you're if you're a college basketball person, if you're not one of those people who's moved to watch all football all day, Arkansas and played on Thanksgiving last year. And they wouldn't keep putting all these Thanksgiving week basketball tournaments on if people weren't watching. So it's a game where the kids that you're after, wherever they are, have an opportunity after a Thanksgiving feast to watch you play. And generally all their families or family members and maybe even the decision makers are all in the room together. So there's great value in being on television that day.
All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, it is that time of the morning here on Friday where we get a chance to talk about our Fence Man Friday picks. We've got Tennessee and Texas A&M to discuss, some prop picks involving Tommy's golf tournament this weekend. So we welcome in our buddy Sean. Sean, I was telling you kind of beforehand, I've got this fence situation in my backyard. There's like a backdoor entrance to what I'm assuming is going to be my house. Knock on wood that it goes through. But I know you guys do all sorts of things when it comes to entrances and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, we can design the fence to either go in front of the door, behind the door. Just depends on how you want it to mount towards the house. The gate can swing left, right. Heck, we can make it go up and down. I mean, you just decide how you want that to look and how you want to get in your house. And, do you want it to be, a lot of people like to open up that back door and let the dogs ride out and be inside the fence.
I plan on getting a lab puppy at some point. So that's a possibility for that to happen.
We need to move the fence in front of that door then.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. All right, let's get into it. A little Fence Man Friday.
Fenceman Friday Picks. Call the Fenceman for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. We ain't afraid of no work.
So in Omaha this weekend, it features two SEC teams. The Tennessee.
Now, let's get right to this. I want to know how Sean's handling this.
Well, he's got friends, and he's got the woman, the light of his life, who's an Aggie. How are you handling this? Who's going to win this weekend? Who are you cheering for?
I'm going to be rooting for the Aggies. I really am. Even though, I've got my best friend and some other really great close friends all live in Tennessee, and we're big ball fans as well. But I got to keep it close to the heart and close to home. So go Aggies.
Have peace in the house.
Well, yeah. I will be joined at the hip. My brother is dating the Texas A&M Aggie. While I can't jump on that fandom, I got to be honest. I don't want Tony Vitello to win before Dave Van Horn. I know that, again, he is probably better in person, and Clay's talked about him, that it's his friend or whatever. I don't care. I don't want Tony to win before Dave does. That is the sole reason I'm cheering for Texas A&M this weekend, Chuck. The sole reason.
I hear you. I know a lot of people feel that way. I kind of know Tony too from his time here, so I don't feel that way. But I'm picking Tennessee. I picked Tennessee a month ago, and I'll stick with it until A&M beats them. But A&M's good now. But I'm going to pick Tennessee.
Probably. I'm going to be honest. You're probably going to be proven right after this weekend. Tennessee is unbelievable. A&M's got a few injury bug issues that they're going to have to deal with for Schlossnagle and company. So we'll see how it plays out. But again, get started on Saturday, then Sunday, and if necessary on Monday as well for the setup of the games this weekend. All right, some prop bets for you. So Tommy's in this golf tournament, right? He's playing with his brother Teddy. I set the over-under, guys, at them shooting 77. Chuck, do they shoot over or under 77 as a combined team on average this weekend?
They'll shoot below that.
Below that? Okay.
I don't know what kind of golf game he has.
Tommy's good. I think Teddy's a little worse than him.
So are they playing best ball?
Yeah, best ball.
Best ball. Oh man. So I mean, if you're telling me, I'm gonna go over. I'm just gonna go over. I think
the Crafts do not live up to the hype. They shoot over 77. They just missed the cut. They shoot.
Let me tell you something, boys. I know both those guys. They are not writing 77 on their card. I'm just telling you that. They are not writing 77 on their card. I don't know what they're going to shoot, but I know they're not going to write it on their card. I'm certain of that.
So does that tournament, is that are they allowed to have adult beverages while they're out there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh well, then yeah, they're definitely going over.
Over for sure.
No doubt.
Chuck, who shoots better this weekend? Does the younger brother Teddy Kraft outdo Tommy, or does
I don't know about that. I mean, they're a team. They're a tandem. So I don't know that they're taking individual scores. It sounds like they're playing best ball. I'm not sure the format.
Oh, they're brothers. You know they're fighting.
Let me tell you something. It's a brother as a older brother that has a brother that's 16 months younger than me, and Tommy and Teddy about that same age. Whether they say it or not, like you're saying, there's always a competition, Sean.
Well, I'm sure there's a competition, and I'm sure that one of them might be more apt to say, "Man, you really gotta pick it up." You might not say that to your buddy, but you'd say it to your brother. But no, they'll have that pencil sharp. I know those guys.
And the line is set for 77. So when Tommy comes in on Monday, we're going to ask him, it's like, hey, our Fence Man Friday picks, over under, was y'all shooting an average of 77? What'd you shoot? I bet you he tells us it was under, but guess no, we weren't on the course with them as the marshal, Chuck and Sean, so I guess we'll never know. Well, you're kind of the marshal of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley when it comes to fences to a certain extent. I was kind of talking to you about my situation, but it's not just that. You were telling us about the Mulberry baseball field you guys are helping out. I mean, you've done stuff all over the state, Sean.
We really have. We've been to Northwest Arkansas doing some pretty amazing fencing up there. We're doing the big baseball fields. As you guys all know, right here in the River Valley, the 188th is going active. We are currently out on the base running some fencing out there. We had some partners with Arcola. They helped us out, sanding gravel out there, the quarry. They helped us get some stuff done. So we're doing all of it.
And you can find him again, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Thanks, Sean.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same-as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's a $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's right. Hang on, what?
Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy?
Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram,
Sure thing,
Facebook
Dad.
thing?
I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X.
What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X.
Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 90s. I think we'll end up with a clear to partly cloudy sky tonight, upper 60s to near 70. Saturday, lots of sunshine, low to mid 90s, and we're back in the mid 90s on Sunday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty
KERX
beers,
Paris
and
Fort
liquor.
Smith. Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 69 days.
This is TV's call.
That's a good point, yeah.
These are TV games. These are not, hey, let's schedule Illinois. I know a guy up there. Hey, while we're at it, let's just play on Thanksgiving in Kansas City. Be nice. And look, that may be the way television works it out, and I hope it is. But all this is just speculation based on one guy's report. But I do think it's important to keep in mind that a lot of these games, neither school's making the final call. Television's making the final call.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Football Friday. Still plenty of football to discuss. We'll discuss some baseball. Efforting Jonathan Papelbon, former Red Sox, Phillies, and Nationals pitcher as well. Played a lot. Knows a little bit about pitching. Won a World Series in 2007. Want to get his perspective, hopefully, on Hagen Smith, Paul Skeens, and ask him just kind of what's going on in the MLB since it's really the only current sport right now. I guess the NHL and with the NBA coming to a close, that's what you have to look forward to before football season. I guess we're under 70 days out from Razorback football till August the 29th in War Memorial Stadium against UAPB. So we will talk about all that coming up in just a bit here on a Football Friday.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by McLarty Daniel. McLarty Daniel has a vehicle to fit both your style and budget. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, you're never too far from a good deal. Visit McLartyDaniel.com to find your next ride.
All right, Chuck, I think we can have some fun with this. I was kind of excited about this when I was looking at this last night. Barry Bonds was on the Fox telecast with Derek Jeter, Ken Griffey Jr., and a couple other guys talking about the prospect of Satchel Paige. Satchel, of course, one of the best to ever pitch baseball, played a pitcher a long time in the Negro Leagues. And Barry Bonds got asked about, hey, how do you think you do against Satchel Paige? Which, of course, we never got to see because Bonds didn't play in the same era that Satchel did. But here's what he said about it.
Tell me right now, on the spot, what would you do against Satchel Paige?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Gone. You lost your mind, Jeter. Gone. Simple. Gone.
Gone. Hear Derek Jeter ask him the question there about that. Chuck, when I heard that, there's always like an idea of, hey, we get a chance to talk about what could have been in terms of matchup situations. Like I think for football, while they wouldn't go head-to-head on every play, I've always thought about what it'd be like to watch Joe Montana and Tom Brady play. I just think that prospect is awesome. We've seen Brady play Peyton Manning. We've seen him play Patrick Mahomes, but being in different eras, Joe Montana and Tom Brady. For basketball, people will say Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Pretty easy comparison today. I wish we got a chance to watch Michael play the 94-95 Houston teams that went on to win the world championship with Hakeem Olajuwon. That would have been great, but maybe something you thought of, like, hey, I really wish these players or teams would have played each other or could have. What would those be?
Well, kind of put me on the spot here. I mean,
I got plenty more if you want to say.
I'm not, the thing, I mean, honestly, I would imagine there might be. I mean, you could, do all kinds of things with computer simulation.
That's a good point.
If you had, it'd be fun to watch Montana and Brady go at one another. It's hard to compare eras, but if there was a way to make it equal, yeah, I mean, that's, that'd be one of the fun things. I kind of took what Bond said last night. That's a couple of guys, talking trash in the barbershop, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I took it.
He was pretty open about that. Here are some of the ones you tell me this, and I've got some hog related ones as well that I've included on this list. Wilt Chamberlain against Shaquille O'Neal. I think that would be a lot of fun. Bro, Kareem is there as well. People always talk about the '96 Bulls being the best team of all time. For the younger generation, they would say the Warriors with Steph Curry and what they were able to establish. Those were some teams that would be fun to watch that dynamic back and forth. I had Patrick Mahomes taking on the '85 Bears D. I'd like to see what Pat could do against that defense, being one of the most exciting quarterbacks that I've gotten a chance to lay my eyes on. A Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders matchup of some sort, whether Bo was playing running back, Deion was out at corner, or them on the baseball field against one another or something like that.
Somebody's got to pitch.
Yeah, that is true. I would not want to be the pitcher in that situation. And then for hog-related teams, this is more teams rather than individuals. I had the 2006, 2010 football matchup, the 94 versus 78 basketball teams, and then the 79 versus 2018 College World Series Finals teams. Those are kind of the matchups that I think would be really fun. Now, the football one's pretty close. It's not a really difference in eras. It's 5 years difference, basically, 4 years. The other ones, though, are 20, in some cases 20 years, in other cases 40 years of difference. But just thinking, I know Tabor would tell us they'd beat that 28 team, but I always think the prospect of that computer simulation would be fun to just kind of see how it shook out.
See, that's your retirement plan right there, Ty. You're going to develop a computer simulation of all this, and you're going to take bets. You're going to be the one that sets up all the gaming operation related to all this stuff. We've had some great eras. I mean, we've had, and it would be fun, if you could pit those teams together. And I'm sure everybody on their respective teams would tell you they're the best.
They're the best.
I guess that's kind of what makes it fun. You get to argue from now till the end of time.
Yeah. So if you want to jump in and give us what matchup, what team you want to see on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, you could do so at 877-377-6963. Chaz and Fayetteville saying, I would like to see this Jordan versus LeBron debate ended once and for all. That would be nice to see Michael beat him 12-0 or 11-0.
You brought up Kareem a minute ago, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Do you know he led, I read this the other day, his scoring record, all-time leading score in NBA history, stood for 39 years, and he made one three-pointer in his entire career. I mean, that tells you the kind of dominant player. You were talking about hypothetical matchups. Mm-hmm. For those old enough to remember when Kareem and Wilt, now Wilt was kind of at the tail end there, but when Kareem and Wilt Chamberlain, when Kareem was with the Bucks, young player, and again, Chamberlain was kind of at the end.
Yeah, him and Big O.
Those were a couple of great players right there.
Yeah, that was a cool part.
It'd been nice to see them both in their prime.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Matched up against one another.
Skyhook, most dominant shot in basketball history. I mean, the fact that it's so difficult to perfect and craft, and Kareem spent years upon it. Junior high, high school, UCLA days with John Wooden, and then, of course, with Minnesota, with Milwaukee and Los Angeles. I mean, that's the most unstoppable shot in basketball history. I mean, watching full games, watching him going up against Lambeer and Robert Parrish and some of the Philly guys, it's just, you couldn't do anything, Chuck. We've talked about Wilt Chamberlain's dominance before on this program, but I mean, that shot was unblockable back in the day.
It was. I mean, every once in a while somebody might get a fingertip on it somewhere, but it was generally goaltending if they did, because it was on a downward trajectory the entire time. But, yeah, it was Kareem was a great player. Great player.
Funny text in from Matthew on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. The first Chad Moore's team versus John L. Smith's team in 2000.
I'd take John L's.
That's a pretty.
That team went 4-8.
They did. They beat. Was it Auburn?
They beat Auburn.
Auburn.
They beat Auburn down there at Auburn.
Got Chiswick fired that year, if I remember.
Because I remember John L. stood at the top of the stairs at the plane and shook the hand of everybody that got onto the plane.
That's awesome. Text in from Greg. He wanted to see that 90-94 matchup. So you'd have Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, and Oliver Miller taking on the Big Nasty, Scotty, Corey, and those guys. There was a little bit of overlap with those players, not necessarily the main core, but that would be a fun matchup. And if I remember right,
which matchup is that?
The 1990 team that went to Denver, I guess, and lost to Leitner against the 94 squad that, of course, won the national championship. I feel like maybe I don't want to misrepresent Coach Richardson, but I feel like he said before that he felt like his 92 team was the best one he's coached, that I believe lost to Anthony Hardaway in Memphis.
Yeah, I remember that team. That was a good team, and a lot of people thought they were going to win it. And yeah, that was a heartbreaking loss, that's for sure.
It was tough. So if you want to text those in, again, McLarty Daniel Hotline open 877-377-6963. Chuck, speaking of kind of some old NBA, I saw the Lakers, I guess, officially hired J.J. Redick. 4-year contract. LeBron's podcast buddy, I guess, that he wanted to do the podcast in the Los Angeles studios rather than remotely. to me, that's like I almost think it's like how far have the Lakers fallen. And I know they recently won a championship, but I just don't think like that organization doesn't have to adhere or listen to an aging, while he is a great player, arguably the second best ever in the history of the game. I just don't know what Buss and Pelinka are doing, to be honest. I think this is going to fall flat on their face. I don't think this is going to work at all for that organization.
I really don't know, to be honest. There are two schools of thought that it'll work great, and another school of thought that it won't work at all. And I honestly don't know. I mean, J.J. Redick was a great player and played for Coach K, and he's been good on television. I don't know whether or not he'll be good as their coach or not. I have no idea. Some of that stuff's overrated in the NBA. I don't recall a Boston fan saying, man, we got to go get that Joe Mazzulla guy.
That's true.
Players run the league.
Yeah, that is true on Joe Mazzulla, because they were wondering if that was going to pan out. I think for Boston, then that's kind of where I wanted to head next. So they win the NBA championship, right? They've had several dynasties over the course of their years. Russell and those guys, Bird and those guys. I know Garnett and Pierce won, but the question kind of remains: will this be another Boston dynasty? And I think it's honestly important for the NBA to have one. Even John Calipari touched on it earlier this week. Listen to what he had to say about kind of what the NBA looks like the next few years.
So now they win the champ, and they may win a couple. They're young, but Denver gets healthy. If Jamal's healthy, they're right there. You still can't count out the Lakes and all that stuff. I was so happy for Dallas. Nico brings in Gafford, and he brings in P.J. Washington and Jones. That changed Dallas.
So Boston dominated the 60s. Your Knicks and Lakers kind of dominated the early 70s. Then in the 80s, it was dominated by Boston and LA. 90s, of course, was Michael and the Bulls. Then early 2000s, Lakers. And then since then, it was like Miami and San Antonio since then. And then it's kind of been Golden State. And now we're waiting on that next dynasty. Golden State, that's done. Steph Curry is still a good player, but Klay Thompson's a shell of itself. Is Boston, and I don't think they are. I think we're still going to see several teams these next few years win championships, Chuck. How do you feel about Boston's young core and kind of where they are in the NBA these next few years?
Well, obviously they've got a lot of talent, and they're the odds-on favorite, I'm guessing, to win it again next year.
Mm-hmm.
And they may win 2 or 3 of them. I don't know. Lots of times when teams win the world championship, though, in any sport, people will say, well, hey, they may win this thing 2 or 3 more times. They're loaded and ready to go. It's when they lose that you say they're going to blow the thing up. So I would assume Boston will be good for a while. And, the NBA needs its stars. And I don't know that, dynasties are necessarily, the thing that makes it tick. I think it's more about individual star power and who's going to be the next guy that carries the league. That's generally the guy that's going to have the best players around him. It seems to work that way in the NBA. And so who's going to be the face of the league post-LeBron?
Yeah, and I know Anthony Edwards being in Minnesota, that would be a guy that some people consider. Giannis Antetokounmpo, there's some others, but something definitely the NBA has to keep in mind.
I don't think any of those guys are on the level of a Jordan or a LeBron.
You're right.
And I say that respectfully, and I don't mean they're bad players by any stretch. I just mean that those guys, and I'm talking about LeBron, maybe more when he was playing better than he is now that he's aging. When both those guys were in their primes, there were no bigger stars anywhere. And I just don't know that the NBA's got a guy like that. Now, I think this kid at Oklahoma City, this SGA guy, he's got some personality. And I don't really think Anthony Edwards is going to be the guy. But who's going to be the face of the league?
I'm glad you brought them up. We got a text here from Cajun on the McLarty Daniel hotline asking if I was okay for Oklahoma City as my favorite team trading away Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso. 100%. Even though he's an Aggie, I will look past Alex's college and say he actually played for a coach when he was on the when he was coaching the Oklahoma City Blue. That was we've talked about OKC's young core last week. We had Isaiah in here. He was kind enough to give some of his time last week, and it was cool to kind of hear his perspective on the young movement. And Chuck, they added a piece. I mean, Giddey's a guy that can dribble and get in the fast break. He can't shoot worth a bleep. And now they added a guy that's a good defender that can shoot it. And I love the addition that Sam Presti made with Oklahoma City. I just hope the only thing I thought about when they traded for him is that going to affect Isaiah being the team option, him coming back, which of course I want him to be on the Oklahoma City Thunder, but I also want's best for what his career is moving forward.
Maybe a trade that helps both teams. That would be my early take on it. I think that Caruso probably brings to Oklahoma City a mentality, a veteran presence in the locker room, a guy who's been where they want to go, a guy who can talk them through it sometimes, who can take a young team. And he's obviously not the coach, but he's going to be a veteran presence that all the young players look towards. So I think it helps them. And look, Giddey, he probably needs to get into a different situation where he can expand his game some. I think he's a good player. He's really, really young, and that's the upside. I mean, I don't even think he's 21 years old yet. If he is, he's barely 21.
Yeah.
So might end up being a trade that helps both teams.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say real quick, I saw Monty Williams, $65 million, not to coach Chuck. I know you love your job, and I love mine too. I love working with Tommy. I love working with you, Clay, and everyone else. But if I got offered $65 million to basically get fired, I think I'd be okay.
Well, $65 million is a lot of money. Yeah. Hey, if you're in the market for an automobile, let me talk to you about McLarty Daniel for just a moment. You're going to save money. That's part of it. We were talking about money there. You're going to get a great deal. Here's the thing. Regardless of where you go, they're going to make you feel like you're getting a good deal, or you're going to go somewhere else. There's a lot more to it than that. And they understand that at McLarty Daniel. That's why they've been doing this since the 80s. They didn't just show up. These are guys that understand it's a total experience, and it begins from the moment you walk in the door. How they welcome you. Are you interrupting their day, or are you the reason for their day? How do they treat you during the process? And then how do they treat you when it's over, after you've gotten a great deal and after you've bought the automobile? And you need to get it serviced, and maybe you're working Monday through Friday, Saturday service, complimentary rentals. That's a big part of the McLarty Daniel difference. And that's what you will find when you do business with them. They've got 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville and Springdale specifically. And they've got a great selection of automobiles, too. You can check it out at McLartyDaniel.com.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk with Jonathan Papelbon at some point. Sounds like he's had something come up.
Slept in. Stayed out all night.
Having some fun, I guess. But he is a guy that I definitely want to talk to about his perspective on Hagen Smith and Paul Skeens. And Chuck, I found myself, I'm not a Pirates fan. I'm a Phil Elson fan, which I listen to what he has to say about the Pirates, and I've monitored what Paul's been doing. I was kind of reading some stuff. It sounds like there's a push to make him an all-star. I know that's not really a thing for rookies, but based on his numbers, is that too? I don't think it's too far-fetched to see him possibly end up as a National League All-Star this year.
There may be some pressure brought to bear to have him on the All-Star team. That wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he wasn't one of the pitchers selected. He's going to be the most dominant pitcher in the game, probably for a while. If his health holds up. He's the one pitcher out there right now. There are a lot of great pitchers in Major League Baseball, lots of them. He's the one that brings people to the ballpark, no matter where they play. He's got that kind of personality. So I wouldn't have a problem with him being on the All-Star team. I don't think his numbers are out of whack in terms of being in the All-Star game. I mean, we're going to have guys batting .210 in the All-Star game. So,
fair.
So what?
It's just changed. So he is definitely, we got a chance to watch him firsthand college. Arkansas didn't ever lose to him. Just want to reiterate that. Every time we talk about him, just want to mention that. But it has been, it's been fun. You mentioned something that I hadn't thought about, like his not biological clock, but his basically MLB clock that started earlier than the Pirates wanted to because they're not contenders really this year. It's just a matter of, hey, who's going to pay him? Los Angeles, New York. Where's the big market team, Chuck, down the road that's going to offer him a boatload of cash in a better city in some people's eyes than when he's going to eventually move, which I hate.
Well, yes, that will probably happen at some point. The question's what happens between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is look a little bit north to Kansas City. Once every 10 years or so, they're going to have a good crop come up, and they're going to be good like they are this year, like they were when they won the World Series. And then they can't keep the players, and the players go, and they got to go through the whole process again. That'll happen at Pittsburgh, but he might just lead them to something special between now and then.
I hope for our buddy Phil Elson that's exactly what happens. Not that I'm going to bet on it. You might have honestly a prop bet right now or something on the Bet Saracen app where you could say, will Paul Skeens lead Pittsburgh to their first World Series championship in quite some time? Now, probably going to get really good odds. You can get all these different odds on the Bet Saracen app, not just the MLB. You've got college football, NFL stuff coming up. You've got several odds on Razorback games. BetSaracen.com or download the Bet Saracen app in the iTunes and Google Play Store. When we return, we'll talk some in-state recruiting next.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Hey, this is Arkansas wide receiver Isaiah Satania, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
To $6,000 off on the 2024 GMC Sierras, or $4,000 off and as low as 1.9% financing for 36 months with approved credit at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2024 GMC Sierra has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Up to $6,000 off or $4,000 in discounts and as low as 1.9% financing. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle,
And you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
They swapped contact information, and now she is dating him.
Now they're swapping a little more than contact information.
Here's my thought on this.
Please.
If you're her, Dad, I want to introduce you to my boyfriend. And she brings home Bill Belichick.
I still can't get enough of that story. Coach, congrats. You're living the life that most of us want. All right, let's talk to our friend. Speaking of good living, let's talk to our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources. Larry, I don't know if you've seen Bill Belichick's new girlfriend. He's 72. She's 24. Keep you up to date in the pop culture.
Well, God bless him.
Yeah. That's what most
He's
of us.
got his hands full.
That's what most of us are saying this morning. I think so. You see that on social media. I know in y'all's social media, you guys are always doing giveaways at Rath Auto Resources. Y'all just gave away. Father's Day. Who doesn't want Texas Roadhouse on Father's Day? You guys gave $100 gift card away on y'all's social last week.
Yeah, the Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. It's fun and it's free. It's just something we do, on Facebook because people are helping us promote our business there, and we want those people to be rewarded as well. And we've got great local partners like Roadhouse and Tri-State. Speedway has just been terrific. Fort Smith Coffee Company. We've got some good local partners that supply us with those free gifts, and we give them away. It's amazing how much response we get, and it's so much fun to have fun, with those people that are promoting and supporting our business. So the Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza, that's a good reason to follow us on Facebook. There's a lot of other good reasons. Part of that would be the big inventory that we've got right now, road-ready certified vehicles with warranty, and this terrific promotion that we've got going on, up to 27% extra for your trade. Now, listen, there's a lot of folks that could use that right now. We see so many people that are worried about their trade equity right now, and that's why we're doing this. We can help you get into that car you've been waiting on now at Rath Auto Resources with up to 27% extra for your trade. Lots of other good things going on. The Meineke Car Care Center, we got a couple of trophies in yesterday. That's one of the top stores in the nation. We're so proud of that. Philip and his team back there are just the very best. And if you're looking for the best place to get your car taken care of, it'd be back there in the Meineke Car Care Center. Come on in for a free AC check. Once we get you in the system, you're going to get a free inspection every time you come in. We're going to stay on top of your car, make sure that everything happens when it's supposed to, and no sooner, no later, right on time, all of your car care, just like it's supposed to be. We help you manage all that. It's just one of the things about rolling with Rath that just makes it a better way to drive. We'd love a chance to take care of your car in the Meineke Car Care Center. Better yet, we'd like to trade it in. Trade-in acquisition sale up to 27% extra for your trade this weekend. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. We're at 4515 Towson Avenue here in Fort Smith. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
That's Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Larry, have yourself a great weekend, and excited to see what else is going to be given away these next few weeks.
Keep watching, Ty. There's going to be something cool in there, something you want, I'm sure. So we're having a big weekend, folks. Come and see us.
Chuck, I want to go back to the question I asked earlier about lawnmowers. My dad is apparently listening this morning, and he said, don't be a wuss. Get a nice push mower. So I'm kind of torn. That's my own father. If he shows up at my house and I have a sit-on lawnmower, I feel like that I'm never going to be able to live that down. He is. I will give him this. We have had a push mower my entire life.
I've never heard it referred to as a sit-on mower.
What is
this? Like a riding mower?
Riding
mower.
Yeah, riding mower. That's probably the proper way. See, I don't even know how to say it. I've mowed.
You just got to make sure your lawn looks good. You're a first-time homeowner. Your neighbors are going to be nervous. Just keep your lawn looking sharp. That's the most important thing.
And then another text. This is from my stepmom. She says, would a chick, as you're referring to, like to see a nice piece of furniture in your house rather than a riding lawnmower or a push mower than a non-nice piece?
That's why I ask you how much money you've got.
I don't know.
I mean, riding mowers are not cheap.
I'm going to be honest, man. I'm hemorrhaging.
I'm telling you, lawn service.
Lawn service. Well,
2 keywords, lawn service.
It might be the way to go on this. I know that's how Tommy does it. Chuck, before we let you go, one of the things that Colt and I were kind of discussing earlier this morning, he did a good job of kind of compiling everything. I know that it was disappointing for Arkansas fans. For those who don't know, number one player in the state, Karius Kern, committed to LSU earlier this week. And this is not like an anomaly. Arkansas, 9 of the last 16 years, has had the number one player in their state, according to 247 Sports, go elsewhere. I know, again, I don't think it's all said and done. Karius was originally committed to Arkansas, decommitted is now to LSU. I think the only remedy for this is winning, right? Is there something I'm missing? I know that the coffers aren't maybe as full as everywhere else, but it's the only thing to just like really get in-state kids to choose Arkansas head and shoulders above anywhere else is getting back on the winning track, or is there something I'm missing?
Well, that's a big part of it, and NIL is a part of it. There are lots of things that are part of it. The thing that I would wonder would be a lot of these number one players who have left the state, number one players in our state, gone to other places. How much impact have most of them really had where they've gone? Now, some have, but most of them have not. They've not been program-changing type players. So my first question would be, what have you really lost? Mm-hmm. Sometimes these kids leave the state because it looks really green. And for whatever reason, it's not quite as green when they get there as maybe it might have been had they stayed. And I've seen some of these players from Arkansas go other places at times when Arkansas was not winning. Oftentimes when Arkansas was not winning. That's what they did. But it never really worked out. They were there, and I'm not saying they had a bad time. But it wouldn't have been like it would have been if they'd played for the Razorbacks.
Well,
and so all those things come into play.
The key word with Karius is he's committed. He's not signed with Brian Kelly and the Tigers. Curious to see if he's
there's a long way to go.
There is, and I think based on his process so far, it's not over just yet. All right, when we come back, your SEC update, we'll talk some SEC basketball. I want to talk about this Oliver Giroux kid that's like 7'9", playing for Florida. Rocco Miller joins us, give us some SEC stuff, plus we'll talk Razorback basketball schedule next.
This is Football Friday on the Morning Rush.
This June, celebrate Dad with a gift of adventure at Wheels RV. We're rolling out Father's Day specials all month long. Treat your family to a summer they'll never forget. Camping has always been a perfect way to disconnect from the world and tune into family and friends. We make it easy with exclusive discounts and bonus offers on our entire inventory, including Brinkley, Grand Design, and Forest River. Let's make this Father's Day one he'll never forget. Visit us at Wheels RV and start your journey to endless summer memories.
This season, you pick the deals during New Holland's Ready to Roll sales event at WT Equipment. Get a new compact and save $2,300 cash back. Plus, choose 0 for 72 or add a free loader. You pick. Get 0% on select round balers and free net wrap. Or choose to pocket over $10,000 in cash back. NCBA member? Stack $2,500 off these already beefy offers. With work getting longer and budgets tighter, one choice is easy. Choose WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
He struck him out swinging. This is historic. You've never seen anything like this before.
This is the Morning Rush.
Drive a compact SUV that has more style, power, and technology with the 2023 Buick Envision at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get financing as low as 0.9% for 36 months with approved credit and $3,500 in factory discounts. The Buick Envision. It's all about you and designed to inspire. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name-brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Look out, River Valley, the goose is loose. Bentonville Brewing Company's Space Goose is a daring take on a New England-style IPA with haze for days. With notes of tropical citrus, guava, passion fruit, and pineapple, it's creamy, zingy, and zows the taste buds. Pleasantly tangy, lusciously cloudy, and thoroughly pleasing, it's not just your new summer beer. It's your new favorite beer. Ask for Bentonville Brewing Space Goose Hazy IPA.
The good old summertime is here, and is ready to help you have a great time. Going fishing? Jelco has one of the largest selections of fishing equipment and gear for your day on the water. Taking a vacation? Jelco has a great selection of casual shirts, shorts, and comfortable shoes to make your vacation one to remember. Fall is not far away, so start getting your bows and guns ready for fall. Jelco Outdoors, your store for all season. Have a great summer from Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
And for our SEC update, brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas, to the McLarty Daniel Hotline we go. To Rocco Miller, who joins us, bracketier.org. He analyzes brackets. He talks college basketball. Apparently, he finds out college basketball schedules before anyone else. Rocco, you were the one that kind of had this Illinois and Arkansas game pegged early. The Illinois AD announces yesterday it's in Kansas City. What'd you make of kind of that news and Arkansas's non-conference schedule, which now features the Fighting Illini, the Michigan Wolverines, and the Miami Hurricanes?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Good to be on with you. Yeah, so, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I consult teams at all levels of college basketball, all 32 leagues. So I get to hear different games come together and actually help put games together behind the scenes. So, that thing's been in the works for a while. We finally, on my website, bracketier.org, put together our first of several conference pages. The Big Ten page went up last week, and I think that was time to finally just put that out there because Illinois and Arkansas have been working on that for about a good month now. And they're also going to tie that Thanksgiving game to what they call a multi-team event, which is an MTE in college basketball lingo. And that's where each team will also take on at least one home game. You probably noticed now that both Arkansas and Illinois will play Oakland. So one could assume that Oakland might be part of that, but actually I don't think they are because Arkansas is not going to play Oakland until late December. So we're still kind of waiting to figure out which team or two are going to take those slots. But it is really exciting for both Arkansas and Illinois to play. I believe that's going to be a nationally televised game right after NFL football. So I think those are just some of the details they were trying to figure out for the last month is what city it would be in and what network would carry the game.
Yeah, it sounds like CBS right after the Lions and Bears.
Yeah.
So it's, Rocco, you've got the SEC's not really touching football that day because of the NFL stronghold on Thanksgiving. But listen, I love me some college basketball, so I'm pumped about that upcoming game. Now, that's not an SEC on SEC game, but Rocco, I wonder from your vantage point, you mentioned consulting teams and stuff. SEC basketball is further behind than its football, which has been in a part of every national championship or college football playoff since 2006, or their baseball team, or baseball teams, which I think have been a part of every national championship since 2017. I think everyone since like 2008, with the exception of COVID in 2016. How does SEC basketball get better? Cal still stay in the league, but what are some other areas that they can improve upon as a whole as a conference?
Yeah, I think the SEC in the last 5 years has made tremendous strides. I think historically in college basketball, the SEC in some years has not even been a top 5 league. And of course, 10 years ago, somewhere between 5-10 years ago, the league really stepped up its investment in overall basketball strength. Not just having a couple top teams like Kentucky, historically at the top there, but you see schools like Alabama hire Nate Oates and Auburn bring in Bruce Pearl before that. And even when Arkansas brought in Musselman, it was a huge shot in the arm for Arkansas getting to 3 straight Sweet 16s, a couple Elite Eights. And it's now starting to spread wide. You see schools like Mississippi State gone to back-to-back tournaments. You saw South Carolina go from last place to a chance to get first place last year. And it's so I think what the SEC has right now, and you could argue this, is the best collection of head coaches from top to bottom out of any league. Now, I think what gets tricky is the league going from 14 to 16 teams, obviously adding Texas and Oklahoma. Those are not slouch programs by any means either. But, Oklahoma was the first team left out of the tournament last year, and Texas was a really solidly in tournament team. So I think what's going to end up happening is you're just going to have lots of carnage in the middle of the league, and it's going to be imperative for Arkansas, obviously, to keep up with Alabama, Kentucky, Auburn, the teams that are really invested in high-level talent, and of course hiring Calipari and bringing in the talent that they are. I think Arkansas is doing everything they can to stay on top. And of course, the game now is more about acquiring talent through different NIL vehicles, building staffs that are much larger than ever before. So each school has up to 5 assistant coaches plus a general manager. So the game's changed a lot. I've talked to a lot of head coaches that compare it to the G League. The G League has, only been around for 10, 20 years overall, but it's a year-to-year league where you have to be nimble. You have to be used to players coming and going. And for better or worse, that's what high-level college basketball is now. And so Arkansas is as well-positioned, and the SEC is as well-positioned as any league in the country. And so I think what they have to do is just continue to play big games, be in the spotlight, doing the things like playing this Thanksgiving game and the ACC-SEC challenge. I think the money that also comes from football and other sports is inevitably going to continue to keep the basketball at the forefront as well. So the resources are not going anywhere. In fact, they're only growing. And for me personally, I just think the arrow has been pointing straight up for the league for the last 5 years, and it's going to continue to point up.
You mentioned Madison Square Garden. We had former Ridgeback Kareem Reid on earlier. He's from the Bronx, so I know he's pumped about that. You mentioned the ACC-SEC Challenge. Arkansas will be playing Miami, which is a recruiting hotbed, not just for football, but basketball. I guess my question is maybe a game on the horizon. Cal had mentioned Dallas at SEC spring meetings. I know that there's maybe a possibility of playing the Kansas Jayhawks in a home-and-home of some sort. Rocco, in your opinion, is there another marquee game that Arkansas fans can look forward to on their schedule that hasn't necessarily been announced yet?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of the same things. And in scheduling, you have to be careful because, the teams themselves, and I do think there are plans to be a game to be announced in Dallas sometime in the near future.
Okay.
However, in scheduling, some mornings I wake up and I talk to a team that completely changed their mind from the night before. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with Arkansas. I'm just saying you can't really ever bank on anything until a contract is signed. And so you would like to see that come together. Of course, Calipari is, with all the years he was at Kentucky, he was used to playing in the Champions Classic every year to start the season, which would get him a guaranteed game against a blue blood program. And then, of course, they were part of the CBS Sports Classic, which was a rotating series against either North Carolina, Ohio State, or UCLA. So that's almost like 2 guaranteed blue blood games, plus they had their in-state rival with Louisville. So Calipari is used to being on the big stage. And don't forget that John Calipari is also the president of the NABC, which is the National Association of Basketball Coaches. So his reach in scheduling is probably greater and stronger than any coach in America. And so basically whatever they want to take on, they're going to be able to find those games. And I'm sure him convincing Kansas to play might not take a lot of convincing as it would for several other programs. Now, we know that Kansas already has games with NC State, Missouri, and they have to play the Champions Classic. So it really it's probably just a bandwidth question for if it comes together this year. But I certainly wouldn't be surprised if that comes together in the near future, maybe for 25, 26, and then again for other rumored games as well. For the Dallas game, I've had my eye on Baylor, but I don't know for sure if that's who the opponent would be. But
My dad's a Baylor alum, Rocco. I would love that because they've beat Arkansas the past 2 times.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have any direct knowledge on that. It's just I've looked at every team's schedule, and the only one that would really fit based on not announcing their big primetime games yet is Baylor as a top 20 team. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I'm right on that. I could easily be wrong, but I'm sure the schedule is always going to be exciting as long as you have Calipari at running the program there.
Rocco Miller is our guest. Bracketeer.org is where you can find his not only his bracket, others' brackets, and his scheduling information. Rocco, we'll let you go with this, man. I want you to talk about this kid, Oliver Rue, the Florida freshman, 7'9", apparently the tallest teenager in the United States, I think even the world right now. Played at IMD Academy a little bit. I've been watching stuff that I guess Todd Golden's social media team has been posting. For those who don't know, there's a 7'9" center that plays at Florida. Florida's not on the schedule this year, which is kind of wild. So you won't see him until maybe Nashville or the NCAA tournament. But as Rocco's, we'll let you go. How did this kid not end up at Purdue, man? How is he not playing for Matt Painter?
Yeah, well, it's funny. At 7'7", he's extremely raw. And I'm saying 7'7" last year. So out of last year, he was recruited as a 7'7" prospect. And, of course, by the time he made it on the Gainesville campus in the last couple of weeks, he's now 7'9", which is just crazy. But he's still only 18. He's got limited basketball experience. And I think, I'm pretty close with the Florida staff. We go back to their time when they worked at San Francisco, and Todd does a terrific job, and so does the whole staff. And I honestly think, from their standpoint, it's taking a flyer and trying to work with him. I would not expect much out of him in this first year. It's a grown man sport now, especially at the SEC level. If you're going to play a freshman, you're going to have to be extremely athletic and skilled. Now, maybe they plug him in for a few minutes to help with foul trouble or get defensive stops or a rebound or just throw the other team off. But I wouldn't expect anything from him until maybe his sophomore or after a redshirt year, because they've really got to spend some time developing his game and, seeing how much he can really do at 7'9". I mean, it's a big mystery, but I think it's a flyer worth taking, and that's the way they approached it. And Florida actually does go to Arkansas. They play each other once. It'll be there in Fayetteville. But, so I think that's my overall take. It'll be an interesting story. I hope the best for the kid. I hope he, I hope he has a chance to really succeed. It's just going to be really difficult in one of the best leagues in the country.
Well, I'm glad you double-checked on that. For some reason, I looked at the SEC opponents. I didn't think they're on there, so I guess you might have to play this 7'9" guy. Who knows? He could grow by that initial game in Bud Walton Arena. Rocco, we really appreciate it. If you ever make it this far east, we'd love to see you at Bud Walton, man. I'm telling you, it'd be quite an experience.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be out there at some point. I hopefully it is this year, but I do travel the country throughout the season, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Let's definitely stay in touch.
That's great stuff. Again, Rocco has been on the money with Arkansas, not just Arkansas schedule, but as you heard, he does a lot of SEC schedules, and I say learns about a lot of college basketball and SEC schedules, so we appreciate him joining us for our SEC update, brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. 3 locations now. You got Springdale, you've got Greenland, and you've got right in Fort Smith as well. They've got the hottest deals of the year. Above ground pools up to $1,500 off. So much going on at Burn Pools and Spas. Again, so come see their showrooms in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Greenland to pick out your summer special at Burn Pools and Spas. They build more than just pools. They build long-term relationships. Just got a text from Jonathan Papelbon. He's going to join us on Monday. His daughter is apparently sick this morning, so he's dealing with that, but he's going to reschedule and join us Monday morning at 7:20. Appreciate everyone being on with us. We'll be back then, 6 a.m. Hopefully Tommy does well in his golf tournament.
For the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman.